interrogation, they cried out that they were innocent, saying that they were just receiving the goods, and they knew nothing. After a rigorous interrogation, they did uncover some black market facts, but these were just small fry, and they only knew the surface. Lu Changzheng went to interrogate the man who had contact with Gong Yi. The man's initial confession was similar to that of the other gangsters. He said he went to pick up the goods, but he didn't know anything else. After some tricks, he started to something. He said he was just told to deliver the things he brought this time. As for what he was carrying, he didn't know. If he had known it was a gun, he would never have done it. As for who Gong Yi was, he didn't know him. He was just notified that the person who was in cubicle at a certain time and number when he went to the bathhouse that day was Gong Yi. He went in that day just to make an appointment with Gong Yi to pick up his things. As for who notified him, he had no idea, as they communicated through notes. He had only helped this person deliver things a few times, and he received 20 yuan as a reward each time. The previous times, the things were all wrapped in layers of brown paper, and he didn't know what they were. The things were just delivered to a certain place, and no one had seen them. This is the first time that someone has delivered something to me in person. Lu Changzheng frowned even more tightly. If this man was not lying, he was just a cannon fodder that had been trained in advance. He always felt that there was a conspiracy here, and as long as this conspiracy was broken, perhaps many things would come to light. After all, Gong Yi was cultivated by Mr. Gong with great effort, so he has the ability. Once he calms down, he can get the hang of the work very quickly. It took me nearly half a month to get a general understanding of the situation in the commune, and I was ready to start work. On this day, Gong Yi brought a few staff members and prepared to go to the countryside to get a real understanding of the conditions of each brigade. As soon as they reached the door, they saw a military vehicle rushing towards them from a distance, and it braked suddenly and stopped in front of them. Several soldiers with guns on their backs got off the car, surrounded him, and said to Gong Yi, "President Gong, there is a case that we would like you to come and cooperate with the investigation." Gong Yi had a bad feeling in his heart and asked, "What case?" "President Gong will know when he goes there," the soldier said with a cold face. Gong Yi suddenly panicked, but his face remained calm. "Okay, wait a moment, I have some work to arrange." He instinctively knew that he should call his grandfather right away. Seeing Gong Yi was about to return to the office building, the soldiers behind him stopped him and said, "President Gong, this is urgent. We won't take you long. Let's go now." Gong Ye's face also turned cold, and he said unhappily, "Are you asking for cooperation? I am a state official, not a prisoner. Get out of the way." Seeing that no one gave way, Gong Yi wanted to walk by, when suddenly, the sound of guns being loaded in unison was heard. Everyone was shocked, and Gong Yi stopped immediately. One of the officers quickly spoke up, "Comrade soldier, don't get excited. Don't get excited. President Gong, let's go." The leading soldier spoke in an unquestionable tone. Gong Yi gritted his teeth and had to follow the group of soldiers. These ruffians of the army will immediately complain to their superiors when he returns. After the people left, the remaining staff looked at each other in bewilderment. Could it be that President Gong had done something wrong that the military comrades came to arrest him with guns? The group immediately turned around and went back to the office building to report to Li Hongjun. After Gong Yi arrived, he was taken to the interrogation room. Saw Lu Changzheng, he guessed his identity. "Captain Lu?" Gong Yi asked. Lu Changzheng nodded. "Why did you invite me here? The soldiers under your command are so arrogant." Lu Changzheng sneered. "We soldiers always carry out our missions according to orders. If there is anything wrong with our attitude, please don't take it to heart, President Gong. President Gong, please take a seat and let's talk." Lu Changzheng pointed to the chair opposite and motioned Gong Yi to sit down. "President Gong, do you know Kong?" "Kong? Who? I don't know him." "You spoke to him for a few minutes in a cubicle at the county bathhouse at noon on the 16th. Gong Ye's pupils shrank. "Oh, this guy? I don't know him. I was taking a bath and he suddenly came in, chatted with me for a few words, and then left. It's really weird. He would never admit to this even if he was beaten to death." "Really?" Lu Changzheng asked slowly, but Kong said that he was asked by someone to make an appointment with you for the delivery. "The appointment is tomorrow at noon," still in the bathhouse. Nonsense, he just came in and chatted with me for a few words. Originally, the best approach would be to arrest Gong Yi on the spot when he met the other party and catch him red-handed. But early in the morning, the troublemaker from the security department went to the black market to raid it and arrested many people. This matter caused a lot of uproar in the county. Lu Changjing's face was as dark as ink. After their commotion, it would be even more difficult to trace the source of these guns and ammunition. His current mission is to mine gold. Before receiving specific orders, he cannot interfere too much in local political affairs. In order to prevent someone from notifying Gong Yi and asking him to prepare in advance, Lu Changjing could only give the order to invite Gong Yi over. However, without substantial evidence, it would be impossible to convict Gong Yi based on the testimony of a gangster alone. But there is still some chance of getting him out of the red flag commune. Lu Changjing asked someone to bring Kong to confront Gong Yi. Both sides insisted that one was the culprit and the other refused to admit it. But Gong Yi overlooked one point. That is, when he went to the bathhouse, he reserved a cubicle by specifying the room number. Most people would just take whichever bathhouse gave them. But for someone like Gong Yi, who was taking a bath for the first time and specified a room number, it was obviously very suspicious. The bathhouse staff, Gong Yi was obviously flustered and casually said that he had bathed in that cubicle before and thought it was nice. Immediately, the police officer who was following them came over and slapped him in the face. Only then did Gong Yi realize that he had been targeted. After all, Gong Yi is still young, and his psychological quality is not very good. He soon became incoherent when asked questions. But he still had a bit of rationality left and refused to admit it even if he died. He had a hunch that this matter was not simple, and once he admitted it, he would be finished. As long as he doesn't recognize him, his family will find a way to save him. Several rounds of interrogation, Gong Yi could not explain the suspicious points about himself, so Lu Changjing had Gong Yi detained in solitary confinement and interrogated him later. On the way to the detention room, the police were transferring the gangsters. One of the gangsters saw Gong Yi and immediately rushed over to him, cursing that he was the one who had sent someone with a gun to harm them. After hearing this, Gong Yi immediately poured a bucket of cold water on his feet and woke up completely. This setup is designed specifically for him. No, it should be said that Xiang Zhuang dances with a sword, aiming at Pei Gong. This is a trap set against his grandfather. Gong Yi really regretted at this moment why he didn't listen to his grandfather and contact those people. It was because he wanted to prove himself so much that he believed those people's lies and thought he was very capable. Now it seems that those people are probably just using him as a to threaten Grandpa. Fortunately, these things were not given to him. Otherwise, his life would be really over. On the other side, Gong Ming's face turned extremely pale after he received a phone call. This brat was fooled so easily. Now that the other party has evidence in their hands, they are threatening him directly. If he doesn't get on the boat, his grandson will be finished. Gong Ming closed his eyes in grief and leaned back in his chair, struggling between his conscience and his desires. He opened his eyes again. They were filled with cruelty. Forget it. If a man does not work for himself, he will be punished by heaven and earth. Let's take a gamble. If you win, you will have a bright future. If he loses, he is already old, and he will take all the responsibilities on himself so that he can at least leave his descendants alive. Gong Ming raised his hand and made a phone call. After Lu Changjing learned about the accident that happened during the doubts in his heart became even clearer. He had to go and talk to Gong Chongqing about it. Even if he couldn't break off a finger or a piece of skin from the hand behind him that was stirring up trouble, he would have to gnaw it off somehow. Qingxi County, there was quite a bit of turmoil because of Gong Ye's incident. Hai City is in turmoil at this moment. After Yang Shuren was suspended from his job, he stayed at home. At the beginning, I could hide at home and not hear any rumors. I could also mentally prepare myself and read and study at home. After Yang Suyun was fired, the person who took her place came to their house and made a scene, and the family became uneasy. Yang Suyun stayed at home crying every day, and she was very unhappy with him as her father. She often blamed him for getting her into trouble. Yang Shuren is criticized by others outside and complained by his daughter at home. He is so depressed that he can't stay anywhere. Gradually, he began to drink heavily. That day, Yang Shuren, who was drunk, became angrier and angrier the more he thought about it. If it weren't for Jiang Zemin's instigation, he would never have reported Su Tingqian. Furious, Yang Shuren stumbled out of the door cursing, ready to settle the score with Lao Jiang. Before I arrived at Lao Jiang's house, I saw Lao Jiang and someone sneaking back home. Yang Shuren's eyes turned, thinking that Lao Jiang might have done something shameful. Once he got evidence against him, he would report him and let him suffer the consequences. Yang Shuren sobered up instantly, walked over quietly, and lay down under the window to listen. Lao Jiang was not married and lived in a single dormitory. This kind of house is a bit similar to the student dormitory in later generations, with a long corridor in front of the door and a window on the side. It's working hours again, and there is basically no one in the single dormitories. The two people inside were talking, and although they lowered their voices, they didn't lower their voices too much, so they could still be heard clearly outside the window. The more Yang Shuren listened, the more frightened he became. He had never expected that Lao Jiang was actually an enemy spy. He had disguised himself so well over the years. So he got up quietly, thinking of slipping away quickly. But he was drunk, and although his mind was clear, his body was somewhat out of control. He accidentally bumped into the debris at the door, making a noise. When the people inside heard the noise, they immediately rushed out, with murderous and cruel eyes. Yang Shuren had a bad feeling, and just as he was about to shout, someone covered his mouth. Then two people lifted him up, threw him headfirst from the building. Yang Shuren only had time to let out a short scream, and after a burst of severe pain, he lost consciousness. Yang Suyun knew when Yang Shuren went out, but she ignored it. Before, he was her pride, but now, he was her shame. She had heard it many times that people said that her daughter was like father and that her whole family was ungrateful. Yang Suyun was really filled with hatred. She hated what her father had done, and she also hated the Su family for their ruthlessness. Yang Suyun was washing clothes while hating him. Since she lost her job, she had to do all the housework at home. In such a cold day, her hands were frozen red. Suddenly, there was a rapid knock on the door, and someone outside the door knocked and shouted, "Yang Suyun, your father fell down from the upstairs. You should go and have a look." Yang Suyun was startled and quickly threw away her clothes and ran towards the person who was shouting. When Yang Suyun arrived, she saw nothing but a pool of blood on the ground. Yang Shuren had already been sent to the hospital by a car sent by the school. When Yang Suyun saw this, her legs went limp and she collapsed to the ground. There were several school staff members at the scene. One of them, who knew Yang Suyun's elder sister, said, "Your father has been sent to the city hospital. Hurry up and call your mother and your brother to go to the hospital." Yang Suyun then quickly got up and went to look for someone. After the mother and two of the Yang family rushed to the hospital, they waited at the door of the operating room for most of the day before Yang Shuren was pushed out. Fortunately, his life was saved, but it is hard to say whether he can wake up or what will happen after waking up. Yang Shuren was in a coma for 3 days and woke up, but he had become a high-level paraplegic. When he fell, he broke his tongue. Now he can neither speak nor move. Old Jiang was very worried when he saw that Yang Shuren was not dead, so he came to visit him frequently in the past few days, hoping to find an opportunity to kill him. Zhou Qiuing heard from her daughter that Yang Shuren must have gone out to find Lao Jiang. His current state must be related to Lao Jiang, so she was on guard. He didn't get the chance. Only after learning about Yang Shuren's situation did Lao Jiang breathe a sigh of relief. He can't speak or move now. It will take at least half a year for him to recover. He still has plenty of time. As for being accused of murder, he was not worried at all because he had an alibi and there was more than one witness. On the other side, Lu Chongzheng told Geng Chongqing about his suspicions, and the two started to think about it. Geng Chongqing has been in politics for many years and knows much more about the Su family's affairs than Lu Chongzheng and can better guess the truth of the matter. This matter is probably aimed at the Gong family. Geng Chongqing said after hesitating for a long time. After getting to know each other for a while, Geng Chongqing was more in agreement with Lu Chongzheng. At least, when it came to protecting the Su family, their goals were the same. Therefore, he was willing to tell him some things. Geng Chongqing told Lu Chongzheng about the Gong family, the relationship between the Su family and the Gong family, and some private cooperation. I will tell my eldest brother about the Gong family as soon as possible and ask him to keep an eye on them. But we can't just let it go since those people are so openly causing trouble in Qingxi County. I'll make some preparations here, and in a few days, I may need to borrow some soldiers from your unit. Geng Chongqing's tone was gentle, but his eyes were very sharp.
Time to clean out some termites.
Lu Chongzheng nodded, no problem. This was exactly what he was waiting for. After all, the systems are different, so it is not easy for him to directly interfere in the affairs of local units. But if Geng Chongqing asks for help, that would be another matter. Secretary Tsin called me 2 days ago and asked me how is your grandfather's health? Secretary Tsin was the one who went to Beijing with them before. Thanks to the gold mine incident, he was promoted to secretary ahead of schedule. Secretary Tsin also admired Geng Chongqing very much. It was because of his support that Geng Chongqing was able to work more freely in Qingxi County. Thanks to my wife, the old man is in good health. Lu Chongzheng said with a smile. Maybe during the new year, I can take the old man to the city for a stroll. The two discussed the general arrangements for the future and Lu Chongzheng left. He also had a lot of things to do. After Lu Chongzheng left, Geng Chongqing had the person in charge of the county transport team called in, criticized him severely, and asked him to thoroughly investigate the transport team. If any smuggling of goods was found, they would be severely punished. He also informed Secretary Tsin and asked the city to issue an order to strictly investigate the black market in Qingxi County. Since the incident of smuggling guns and ammunition has occurred, the black market matter cannot be taken lightly. The ringleaders must be arrested and interrogated to find out where the items came from. At time, many units were in a state of panic. Within 2 days, someone came and took Gong Yi away. They said they received instructions from their superiors to take the person away for investigation. Since the other party had all the necessary documents, they had no choice but to release him. Naturally, Gong Yi could no longer serve as the president, and the position of president of Hongqi Commune became vacant. While everyone was still not able to react, Geng Chongqing exerted some strength and helped Fu Ming up. Fu Ming has been his secretary for so many years. His ability is unquestionable, and he is also his confidant. He feels more at ease when he promotes him. From all the teams came to the meeting again, they found that the president had been replaced again. The new president was gone, and Secretary Fu became the new president. Everyone was really confused. President Gong was probably the president with the shortest term in office in the history of Hongqi Commune, with a term of office of less than a month. After the meeting, some people who had heard the rumor asked Lu Qinggan. They heard that the new president was captured by soldiers, and the leader of these soldiers was Secretary Lu's son. Lu Qinggan waved his hand. How would I know? These are all confidential. Even if he knew, he couldn't say it. Besides, he really didn't know. The third brother hadn't been back for more than a week. After Su Mo got off work, Lu Qinggan drove the donkey cart away with a da-da-da sound. Su Mo has been pregnant for 3 months. Because she is carrying twins and has supernatural powers to nourish them, the babies are growing well and her pregnancy is already showing, but it is not noticeable because she wears too many clothes in the winter. Lu Chongzheng has been very busy recently. He has to take care of the gold mine and also has to divide his energy to cooperate with Geng Chongqing. He has not slept for several nights. But the result was good. After this swift and severe crackdown, the officialdom in Qingxi County became much more clean. Black market boss was not arrested, but a few small leaders with some influence were arrested, and a group of cadres who accepted bribes and served as protective umbrellas were also implicated. A large number of people from the Revolutionary Committee were pulled down. Director Luo is also a shrewd man. Apart from occasionally contacting the black market boss, the rest of the time it is his subordinates who make the contact. Therefore, there is no direct evidence pointing to him. After pushing a few confidants to be scapegoats, Director Luo cleared himself of any direct involvement and was only accused of not managing his subordinates well. He received a severe punishment and most of his power was taken away. In the first few years, we could secretly put something in his house, then search it out and convict him directly, but that is no longer possible now. Therefore, even though we know that the other party has problems, in the absence of actual evidence, we can only let him go free. Moreover, Director Luo has been doing business in Qingxi County for so many years, and it is almost impossible to bring him down by just putting something in his house. Director Luo was really angry. Most of the power he had built up over the years was taken away in an instant. However, no matter how unwilling he was, he could only endure it for the time being. Gung Chongqing has a stronger backer than him and has military support, so he simply doesn't have the strength to fight him head-on. After all, he was too proud, thinking that most of Qingxi County was under his control and underestimated a secretary who came from the commune. Fortunately, he had been planning for many years and had some backup plans. He could only lie low for now and make plans later. Director Luo has been in a gloomy mood recently, and Lu Ping is trembling with fear, fearing that she has displeased him and would torture him again. She really regrets it now. I haven't enjoyed much of the power, but I am being tortured every day. No wonder this old guy has been single for so long and has never married. I'm afraid that if anyone knew, no one would be willing to marry him. She was stupid. She thought she had gotten a bargain and rushed in headfirst. When Fang Chunfang heard from her son that Fu Ming had become the new president, her face immediately turned unhappy, and she said with a look of regret, "I told you to visit their home more often, but you didn't go. Look, now that you have the opportunity, people are supporting you and no one else is." "Mom, don't say that. Secretary Fu's ability is known to everyone. He is just the right person to be the president," Yang Jingming said quickly. He knew his own abilities well and didn't really think it was easy to be the president. You can only eat as much as you can afford. Even if he is really pushed to the position of president, he probably won't be able to do it well. It would be better for him to stay in his current position and learn enough skills before moving up. Now that Fu Mingsheng has been promoted, the position of secretary will be vacant. You should go around and try to get the position, Fang Chunfang instructed. If you can't be the president, why not be a secretary? The party committee secretary is at the section level, and her son is just a clerk now. If he can become a secretary and be promoted to section-level clerk, his salary can increase by more than 10 yuan. In the evening, when Lu Xiaolan came home from work and wanted to help with the housework, Fan Chunfang immediately asked her to take a rest with a smile on her face, saying that she had worked hard all day and would eat soon after a break. Lu Xiaolan was shocked. She had just enjoyed this kind of treatment in the first few days after her marriage. Now it was suddenly like this. Could something have happened? During the meal, Fan Chunfang kept picking up food for Lu Xiaolan, which scared her a lot. "Mom, don't be like this. If you have anything to say, just tell me directly." She was frightened by this kind of unhelpful kindness. "What are you talking about, kid? Can't your mother be nicer to you?" Fang Chunfang said with a smile, and then changed the subject. "Your third sister-in-law has been working here for a month, right? Have someone come over for lunch tomorrow. We are so close, and relatives should visit each other more often." Lu Xiaolan knew that this probably meant that she needed help from her third brother. Lu Xiaolan glanced at Yang Jingming. Yang Jingming nodded secretly, and Lu Xiaolan agreed. "My third sister-in-law works here, and she has wanted to treat everyone to a meal for a long time, but she is not the head of the family, and she can't ask for it unless her mother-in-law invites her. She can only give her some snacks when my third sister-in-law comes over to chat at noon." After dinner, Lu Xiaolan returned to her room and asked Yang Jingming, "Is there anything you need help with, Brother San? I have to tell you, if you violate the rules and infringe on public interests, stop it immediately. Don't worry, it won't happen." Even if Fu Mingsheng becomes the new president, the position of the party committee secretary will be vacant. I'm thinking if I can use my connections to get that position. Yang Jingming also had some thoughts on this. He didn't have the ability to be the president, but he could probably take on the secretary position with some effort. However, there are several officials in the commune who have more seniority than him. If there is a fair competition, he may not get his turn. Lu Xiaolan was naturally happy that her husband could move up a level, but this matter didn't seem to be under the jurisdiction of her third brother, right? Can my third brother help me with this matter? Yang Jingming coughed awkwardly. Well, Secretary Geng can take care of it. Lu Xiaolan frowned. This was her third sister-in-law's parents' home, and her Lu family didn't even dare to use it, so her husband's family had their eyes on it? But seeing Yang Jingming's expectant eyes, Lu Xiaolan couldn't say no, so she could only say, he's not my third sister-in-law's uncle, so it may not work out. She suddenly didn't want to invite her third sister-in-law to dinner anymore. The next day, Lu Xiaolan calculated the time and waited at the door of the commune office building. When Li Yue appeared driving a donkey cart, she hurried to meet her. Li Yue was surprised to see Lu Xiaolan, my daughter. What's wrong? She wondered if that old hag had bullied her daughter again. Lu Xiaolan first handed the bag of buns in her hand to Li Yue. Mom, I bought these meat buns. Take them back for Grandpa and the others to eat. The commune canteen is open for 3 meals a day. Now that there are more people, breakfast is also richer. Today there happened to be meat buns, so Lu Xiaolan bought a few and asked Li Yue to take them back. Well, third sister-in-law, come to my house for lunch at noon. Lu Xiaolan said a little unnaturally.
Why?
Li Yue asked first. Food is precious these days, and unless there is anything else to do, it is rare to invite people to dinner. Jingming's mother asked me to call him that, saying that relatives should visit each other more often. Li Yue thought about it and realized that Fang Chunfang had indeed asked her to go to dinner when she went there that time. But then she thought again. Fang Chunfang was always calculating, and if she suddenly asked her to dinner, she might have something to do. Tell me the truth. Is there something wrong? Lu Xiaolan lowered her voice and told Su Mo about the incident. After that, she apologized and said, Third sister-in-law, let's go have a meal. Don't pay attention to them. Don't make things difficult for Secretary Geng. By Lu Boming, Lu Xiaolan is also the type of person who doesn't like to take advantage of others. Li Yue was also in a dilemma. Normally, she shouldn't go to such a dinner with a purpose, but if she said no, she was afraid that her daughter would be scolded by her mother-in-law again. Xiaoma this. Okay, I got it. I'll go there at noon.
Su Mo said.
She didn't lack food, but if she didn't go, Lu Xiaolan might be scolded by her mother-in-law. She liked Lu Xiaolan, her sister-in-law, very much and didn't want to embarrass her. After the meal, whether she can help or not is her business, and Lu Xiaolan cannot be blamed. She had been working in the commune for a month, and according to her observation, Yang Jingming was very serious and responsible in his work. As for his ability, she had not had much contact with him, so it was difficult to evaluate him, but Uncle Geng must know. She could mention it to Uncle Geng, but she would not let him show favoritism. She would let him make the decision impartially. Okay, third sister-in-law, I'll pick you up at noon. Lu Xiaolan thanked. It takes 7 or 8 minutes to ride a bike from the commune office building to Lu Xiaolan's in-law's home. Then you have to be careful when riding your bike. Don't shake your sister-in-law. If that doesn't work, get off and push her. Li Yue quickly explained that Xiaoma was pregnant with twins. Lu Xiaolan. She going to fall out of favor? Mom, I am your daughter. A few days ago, Su Mo was strolling after lunch and happened to walk to the commune clinic. Thinking that she would have to have a prenatal checkup in the future, she went in and had the doctor check her out. Although she could sense that the children were healthy, what if they were too healthy and grew too big to be born, which would be troublesome? The doctor told Su Mo that she was pregnant with twins, both of whom were healthy, and there was no problem. Su Mo was also a little surprised. She thought that without high-tech equipment at that time, it would not be possible to detect that she was pregnant with twins so early. She didn't expect the doctor to be so skilled. Since all the results were found out, Su Mo told Li Yue, which made her very happy. However, the older generation was particular about the rarity of twins and was afraid that the child would be stingy, so they told Su Mo not to tell anyone before the month was 3 months old. Therefore, Lu Xiaolan didn't know that Su Mo was pregnant with twins. At noon, Lu Xiaolan rode her bike and carefully carried Su Mo back, while Yang Jingming walked back by himself. Fang Chunfang smiled brightly when she saw Su Imo coming. The lunch was also very sumptuous, with chicken soup, braised pork and fish, and pure white rice. After the meal, Fong Chunfong cut some apples for us, which was so thoughtful. The corners of Sumo's mouth twitched when she saw this. Apart from anything else, this man was asking for help, and he really had the attitude of asking for help. Seeing that the time was almost right, Fong Chunfong motioned for Lu Xiaolan to tell the story. Lu Xiaolan hesitated and was reluctant to speak. Seeing this, Su Mo said, "Aunt Fong, Xiaolan told me about this. I will mention it to Uncle Gung, but I can't influence the specific result. Whether he can go on the team or not may depend more on Jingming's ability." Su Mo was disappointed with Yang Jingming. It's his own business, but he doesn't take the initiative to do it himself, but makes my mother and wife beg for help on his behalf. To put it nicely, he is honest and not troublesome. To put it bluntly, he is selfish and irresponsible. If this thing succeeds, he will benefit. If it fails, he hasn't done anything anyway. If you are so timid, you are not suitable to be a secretary. Who among secretaries is not smart and capable of handling things? Okay, niece-in-law, it's all right as long as you're willing to speak up. Fong Chunfong said with a smile. After we say hello here, the old man can then bring Jingming with him to visit Secretary Gung, and the matter will probably be settled. On the way back, Lu Xiaolan thanked Su Mo. Thank you, third sister-in-law. Xiaolan, do you think Jingming is suitable to be the party committee secretary? Su Mo thought about it and asked. I met Fu Ming several times when he was Uncle Gung's secretary. In addition to helping Uncle Gung with work, he was also able to help Uncle Gung in life. I saw that he was very proactive in doing things. Lu Xiaolan was silent. When she was dating someone before, she had a halo around him, her, and she thought that person was good in every way. But after a year of marriage, she also knew that Yang Jingming was not a particularly proactive person. Basically, everything was arranged by others, and he just had to do it seriously. They were almost at the entrance of the office building. Lu Xiaolan replied, Third sister-in-law, he is not suitable. Third sister-in-law, don't tell Secretary Gung, so as not to embarrass him. Su Mo didn't answer. She had originally planned to say it herself, but after seeing Yang Jingming's performance just now, she didn't plan to speak up. When Lu Chongzheng comes back, she will tell him about this. It will be up to him to decide whether to help and how to exchange benefits. Anyway, he has more contact with Gung Chongqing than she does. Su Mo was also preparing to get busy. Gung Chongqing had given her some suggestions for the work plan she had written before, but because of Gong Ye's arrival, Gung Chongqing asked her to put it aside for the time being. Now that Gong Ye was gone, she had to start her work. In the afternoon, Su Mo went to the collective workshop to find Director Qi. She remembered that he helped her to customize the wooden frame for growing vegetables. During the winter, she plans to collect some data on greenhouse vegetable growing. When Lu Chongzheng came back last time, he bought her a camera. He didn't have a ticket, so he asked someone to buy one for him. It cost him more than 160 yuan in total. After Director Qi heard Su Mo's purpose, he took her home. His home was nearby, only a few minutes' walk away. Researcher Su, you're right, your method is really good. The vegetables have really grown, although not as well as those grown in the fields, and they're a little yellow, Director Qi said. However, it has cost a lot of house and firewood. His wife was afraid that the vegetables would freeze to death, so the firewall burned very frequently. Su Mo went to Director Qi's house and took a few photos. She could only see the general growth of the plants and could not tell the colors. They were all black and white, so she could only describe them in words. The vegetables are turning yellow because of lack of photosynthesis. Just turn on more lights. The commune has electricity, and Director Qi's home also has electric lights. If you want the vegetables to be less yellow, you have to turn on the lights. Director Qi laughed and did not answer. The electricity fee is 2.2 yuan per kilowatt-hour. How much are the vegetables worth? He can't bear to spend them. The relevant information. Su Mo went back. The greenhouse vegetable technology of later generations was not realized at that time, and it was not realistic to promote it vigorously. However, we could follow the example and make a simplified version and grow some special vegetables at designated locations. In the north, there are only radishes and cabbages in winter, and fresh vegetables can still be sold at a high price. Photosynthesis is the first thing to consider. It is not very convenient to grow plants indoors unless they are in small pots that can be moved out to bask in the sun from time to time. However, you can consider building a thatched hut directly on the ground with a movable roof. When the snow stops and the sun comes out, remove the roof to allow plants to photosynthesize. There is nothing wrong with the idea, but whether it can work or not can only be known through practice. After Su Mo returned, she quickly wrote a plan and took it to Fu Ming for approval. The main reason was that she needed some funding to study this. It was impossible for her to do everything by herself, so she thought of finding 2 people from the Lujia village brigade to help her. There were only 2 months left in winter, and she would give each of them 10 yuan as a reward. There were some miscellaneous items, and Su Mo applied for a total of 30 yuan in funding. Fu Ming was very surprised when he saw Su Mo's application form. "Comrade Su Mo, you did a good job on this form." No wonder Secretary Gung said that Su Mo was a very thoughtful person. Just looking at this watch, she did a better job than him, who had been a secretary for many years. I've also seen it in a book before,
Su Mo said.
She didn't dare to take credit for it. This was just a project establishment form commonly used in later generations. She has never worked, her mother is a strong woman, and she often sees her working on this project proposal form. Su Mo wrote down very clearly the reasons for the project, the purpose, the specific duration, the funds required and their uses, the acceptance and assessment of the results, etc. Fu Ming simply signed his name and stamped it in the approval column. Not to mention that Secretary Gung said he would take care of Comrade Su, just based on the project application form she made. It is worth his signature. Comrade Su, after you get the money from Comrade Song, please give me a backup copy of this project proposal form.
Fu Mingdao said.
He had to show this to Secretary Gung. He didn't dare to say it for the entire Qingxi County, but in the future, all projects in Hongqi Commune that required funding would have to write applications according to this standard. Okay, no problem. Su Mo nodded. Then I won't come to the commune tomorrow. I'll prepare the experimental site in the brigade.
Fu Ming nodded.
After Su Mo paid the money from accountant Song Guanghui, she went back to make 2 copies of the project proposal and gave them to Fu Ming. In the afternoon, when Li Yue came to pick up Su Mo told her about the plan. If there is any good news, her family must be given priority. Li Yue listened and thought the work was not too tiring and there was a subsidy of 10 yuan, so she would definitely do it. As for who to give the other spot to, Li Yue was a little troubled again. There were 2 daughters-in-law left, and giving it to either of them would easily cause disputes. After thinking about it, she decided not to give it to anyone. Another person asked the captain's wife if she is willing. If she is willing, then we can go together. It was just right, so she could do Lu Baowu a favor. Okay, I'll ask later. Su Mo had no objection to who it was given to, as long as it wasn't someone who was sneaky or cunning. Returning to the brigade, Su Mo took the approval note given by the commune and went to Lu Bao's house first. We have to talk to the team leader about this batch of land. Seeing that Su Mo didn't want much land and would not need it for long, and it would not affect spring plowing, Lu Baowu directly approved the most fertile piece of land in the middle of the brigade for her. Afterwards, Su Mo told him that it would take 2 people to cooperate. My mother asked for 1 quota, and I want to ask if you are willing to take the other quota. There is a work subsidy of 10 yuan. Su Mo explained the general content of the work. Lu Baowu quickly called his wife, He Laniying, over. When He Laniying heard about such a good thing, she immediately agreed. I'm just sitting at home doing nothing during the winter, so what's wrong with earning $10? Her work, Su Mo went home. Just as she finished cooking dinner, Lu Chongzheng came back. Seeing him like this, Su Mo knew that he had been working hard for several days, so she quickly served him the meal. Hurry up and eat. After you finish eating, I have boiled some hot water in the pot. Hurry up and take a rest. Lu Chongzheng nodded and looked at Su Mo with a guilty look. He was busy every day, and his wife was pregnant, but he couldn't take care of her at all. Wife, I went to my parents' place 2 days ago and brought them some meat. They're all doing well. Don't worry, they still have a lot of food. Now, there are more people coming and going on the road every day, so it is not convenient for Suemo to go, so Lu Chongjing can only go to see her occasionally. But when spring comes, she will set up a project and request 2 experimental plots opposite the cowshed in Lijiao. It will be much more convenient when she wants to visit her parents or bring things to them. After Lu Chongjing finished eating, he took a bath. When he entered the room, he saw Suemo sitting on the Kong reading a book, so he went over and hugged her in his arms. Wife, the power supply station will start pulling wires tomorrow. We will probably have electricity before the new year. Lu Chongjing said, You like to read at night. I will get a fluorescent tube and install it in our room to make it brighter. The light bulbs sold in the supply and marketing cooperatives now are all 15-watt ones, which are very dim. Okay. Suemo leaned in Lu Chongjing's arms and continued reading. How is the child? Did he bother you? No, I'm very well behaved. Suemo answered and then asked, How are things going on your end? It's okay. We've pulled a group of people down. But there's no evidence against the biggest one. Secretary Gung can only find evidence against him later. Although it's a pity, there's nothing we can do. We have to take one step at a time. Seeing that Lu Chongjing had no intention of sleeping, Suemo told him about Yang Jingming. Xiao Lan and I both feel that with his current abilities, he is not suitable for that position. But if it doesn't work out, I guess Xiao Lan's mother-in-law will blame Xiao Lan to some extent. Think about it yourself and decide whether you want to help. But don't make it too difficult for Uncle Gung. After listening to this, Lu Chongjing's eyes flashed with sternness. It seemed that what he talked about with Yang Jingming last time was too light. Don't you have any idea of your own abilities? Okay, I get it. Don't worry about my wife. I'll talk to him. He even set his sights on his wife. The next day, after breakfast, Suemo took 2 kilograms of brown sugar and 1 kilogram of eggs and went to Lu Guoping's house. Long Xiumei gave birth 2 days ago, and it was said that she gave birth to a big fat boy. Suemo originally wanted to wait for someone to take care of the baby for a few days before going to see him, but since she had something to do with him now, she went with him. Suemo originally wanted to ask Lu Xingjuan for help, but Lu Chongjing said that his brother had been an accountant for many years and was not very good at his job, so he asked her to go find Lu Guoping. Suemo went to see Long Xiumei and the baby first. She couldn't help but notice that they looked exactly like Lu Guoping, almost like exact copies of him. Chunchao looked at Sumo's shock and said with a smile, It's the same in my family. Guoping looks a lot like his father. Suemo secretly marveled at the power of genes, wondering if her child would look like her in the future. After coming out of the room, Suemo told Lu Guoping that she wanted him to find a few young men to help build the greenhouse. Find 3 or 4 people. It will probably take 2 days. Each person will receive a subsidy of $1. We'll meet in the field later. Given the relationship between Lu Guoping and Lu Chongjing, he would help even if there is no money, not to mention the subsidies. Lu Guoping hurried to find someone. Suemo chatted with Aunt Chunchao for a few more words, bought a few pairs of soles from her, then went home, picked up her things, and went to the fields. The land Suemo wanted was not big, just over 1 mu, less than 100 square meters. Growing vegetables in the greenhouse is not her main project, but now that she has free time, she decided to give it a try. Practice makes perfect. Through experiments, perhaps the domestic greenhouse cultivation technology can be advanced by several years. After Lu Guoping and his men arrived, Suemo first asked them to clear the snow on the ground and then turn the soil over. It happened that there was no snow in the past few days. Although the ground was frozen, the land was not big and the young men were strong, so they finished turning the land quickly. After turning the soil, the next step was to build the shed. Normally, the walls would be made of wheat straw and mud, but Suemo only had to use it for a few months, so she didn't bother with that much and just used wheat straw and wood to build the shed. The rural guys knew how to build these sheds and they were very fast. They built the whole shed in a little over a day. The roof of the shed was also made movable according to Sumo's request. Once the shed is built, it becomes a warm place. According to Sumo's request, Several people dug a few pits in the ground and burned sawdust, which was resistant to burning, to slowly warm the ground. Otherwise, the ground would be cold and the seeds would have difficulty germinating. The sawdust was obtained from the carpenter's shop in the commune, where there was a lot of it. Ancient times, princes and nobles would have people grow vegetables next to hot springs to ensure they would have enough vegetables in winter. Growing vegetables is feasible with heated floors. When Liu Boming heard about what Su Mo was doing in research, he came over to take a look. The wild ginseng to eat, and after a few months of nursing, Liu Boming's health had recovered. I dare not say how long he can live, but if there are no accidents, it will definitely not be a problem for him to live a few more years. Liu Boming still has a very high prestige in the village, and the young men were very happy to see him coming. Old Party Secretary, are you feeling better now? Liu Boming hasn't been out for at least a year since his condition worsened. Liu Boming smiled and said, "Yes, it's almost done. You guys just do your own things and don't worry about me. I'll just take a look." Liu Boming looked around and saw that it was done in a fairly decent manner. When he was a child, the farmhands in his family also grew vegetables in winter, and it was pretty much the same thing. Seeing that Su Mo was not there, Liu Boming went to her house again. Su Mo was cleaning the vegetables she had planted at home. She had used her supernatural powers to plant them before, so the data was not useful for reference. She planned to make 4 groups for comparison, all of which would be rapeseed. 2 groups would use current rapeseed seeds, and 2 groups would use rapeseed seeds from the future. The seeds were divided into 2 parts, one to be planted as is, and the other to be nurtured using her supernatural powers before being planted. She would then record the growth data every day. Su Mo was also very surprised to see Liu Boming coming. She quickly moved a stool for him to sit on and prepared to pour him some water. Liu Boming waved his hand and said, "Xiaoma, don't worry, Grandpa just came to take a look." "Xiaoma, can you tell Grandpa what you're planning to do with this research?" Liu Boming asked. It's not that he didn't trust Su Mo, but he was worried about her, a girl from the city, doing agricultural research. He was afraid that she might go astray. He could give her some advice. The country is going through a difficult time, and every penny should be spent wisely. He can't control others, but he doesn't want to waste national funds on his own people. I do this for 2 main purposes. One is to test whether this method is feasible, and the other is to record their growth data and then calculate the production efficiency based on input and output. Su Mo explained and showed Liu Boming the record sheet she made in the past 2 days and explained it to him in detail. Although this method of growing vegetables is more expensive, our lives are slowly getting better. When life gets better, people will definitely have higher demands besides satisfying their basic needs. If we can find a way to grow vegetables in winter without too much cost, even if the price is a little higher, people with money will be willing to spend a little more to eat better in winter. Liu Boming felt relieved when he saw that Su Mo was very well prepared, and it was not something she did on impulse. "Okay, Xiaoma, you study it carefully. I can move now. If there is any use for my old bones, just tell me," Liu Boming said. Only those who have experienced it know what it's like to eat only cabbage and radishes in winter. Who wouldn't want to eat better? No one is born to suffer. This winter, Su Mo grew some vegetables and sent some over from time to time. Liu Boming felt that the meals tasted much better. Seeing that he was going back, Su Mo quickly filled a basket with the vegetables she had just picked and asked Liu Boming to take them back. These vegetables were all grown by her using her supernatural powers, and they were good for Liu Boming's health. When the floor heating was almost ready, Su Mo called Li Wei and He Laniying and asked them to divide the land into 4 plots and plant leeks and rapeseed respectively. It is still divided into 2 groups. One group is the original seeds, and the other group is the seeds nurtured with supernatural powers. She will then record the growth data every day. Leeks and rapeseed were chosen because both are cold-resistant crops and can safely survive the winter at -2 to 3 degrees Celsius. After planting, Su Mo explained to them the precautions, such as how to irrigate, how to warm the soil, to open the shed in time to let the vegetables in the sun at noon when it is not snowing, to cover the vegetables with more wheat straw when it is snowing heavily, etc. Both of them were old farmers, so they understood what Su Mo said. Su Mo spent 3 days in the brigade to deal with all matters concerning the experimental site and only went back to the commune on the 5th. As soon as I got back, I got the news that the former propaganda officer Deng Heng had become the secretary of the party committee. It seems that Liu Changzheng did not help Yang Jingming. Not long after Su Mo arrived at the office, Li Yunwang came over and asked her to go to his office to collect her salary. As the office director, Li Yunwang also holds the position of personnel manager. He is responsible for distributing the salaries and benefits of employees and cadres. It was her first time to receive her salary, so Su Mo was naturally very enthusiastic and went there immediately. My salary was 27.5 yuan, and because the Chinese New Year was coming soon, I got a 5 yuan holiday bonus, so the total I received was 32.5 yuan. As for the tickets, in addition to the monthly ration of oil, meat, and coal tickets, the commune also issued 12 feet of cloth tickets and a few more tickets for daily use. There are also New Year's benefits including a pound of bacon, 2 bars of soap, and 2 cans of yellow peaches. Su Mo was very satisfied as she received so many things in her first paycheck. After Su Mo signed the form, Li Yunwang said, "The commune will have 3 days off during the Spring Festival, from the 1st to the 3rd day of the first lunar month." "Okay, I understand. Thank you, Director Li." After thanking him, Su Mo took her things and went back to the office. At this time, the Spring Festival holiday is not that long, it is only 3 days. After lunch, Su Mo strolled to the supply and marketing cooperative to see how Liu Xiaolan was doing. Liu Xiaolan had just finished discussing with her colleagues how to divide the defective products when she saw Su Mo coming and quickly called her over. "Third sister-in-law, the defective products for the new year have arrived, and there are quite a lot of things. I have a lot of shares in my name, so I'll take you to have a look, and you can choose first." As he said that, he took Su Mo to the warehouse. Because of the gold mine incident, the level of the commune supply and marketing cooperative was also raised by 1 level. The number of defective products distributed this year was almost twice that of previous years. These things are consumed internally first, and only if there are any leftovers will they be sold outside. Su Mo secretly looked at Liu Xiaolan and saw that she didn't seem to be affected, so she breathed a sigh of relief. Seeing Su Mo's expression, Liu Xiaolan knew what she was worried about. She smiled and whispered, "Don't worry, my mother-in-law didn't make things difficult for me." Third brother came over to talk to Jingming. Although he didn't become the party secretary, he was promoted to a higher position. Yang Jingming was previously at level 26 with a salary of 33 yuan. This time, Liu Changzheng made some arrangements for him and promoted him to level 25 with a salary of 38 yuan. After all, Liu Xiaolan still has to be there, and Liu Changzheng can't completely ignore her. Although he can't transfer her to another position, he can still make some arrangements to promote her to a higher level. Yang Jingming has also been working for several years and is quite diligent at work, so he meets the requirements for promotion. Third sister-in-law, don't worry. I have figured it out during this period of time. You don't have to worry about me in the future," Liu Xiaolan said. Before, out of consideration for her husband, but in the past few months, she realized that Yang Jingming was not as good as she thought. If everyone can get along normally, then life will be bearable. If you want to show off in front of her, that's not possible. She, Liu Xiaolan, is not a coward. A few days ago, and gave her confidence. She endured it, on the one hand out of consideration for her husband, as a younger generation should not contradict an old man too much. On the other hand, she was also afraid that things would get too awkward and difficult to resolve, and she would have nowhere to go. At this time, there are very few people getting divorced. Many women, no matter how hard it is to live in their husband's family, dare not easily divorce and return to their parents' home. They are afraid that their brothers and sisters-in-law will mind, they are afraid of being scolded by their parents, and they're also afraid that their behavior will affect their family members. In some places with feudal ideas, if someone gets divorced, the whole family will be criticized. Most of the older generation of this era would persuade the couple to reconcile rather than divorce. At most, they would take their son to the man's house and beat him up. Liu Xiaolan also didn't know whether her parents would agree and her brother and sister-in-law would accept her if she went home after falling out with her in-laws. But that day, Her third brother told her that if she could live her life, she should live it, and if she couldn't, she should go home. Then she felt relieved. If she and Yang Jingming really can't get along one day, at least she has a brother who is willing to accept her when she returns home, and that's enough. The two arrived at the warehouse and found that there were indeed a lot of things, but Suemo didn't need much. Suemo asked for 2 kilograms of defective wool and couldn't ask for more, so Lu Xiaolan only had a share of 4 kilograms. The defective yarn doesn't need a ticket, and the price is half the price. 2 kilograms cost only 14 yuan. It's also gray, but the dyeing is not good. There are many brown and black lines. Then she asked for a defective towel blanket for Lu Boming to use. When she went to his room to see him before, she saw that his thin blanket was already very torn and had many patches on it. Towel blanket, delete. It is said to be a defective quilt, but in fact it is just that some corners are dyed with other colors. This kind of towel blanket, if sold at the original price, would cost 11.2 yuan plus a 5-foot cloth coupon. But now that it is considered a defective product, it only costs 8 yuan and no coupon is required. Suemo gave the money, took the things and went back to the office. In the afternoon, when Li Yue came to pick her up, she talked about the electrical wiring. Your father said that in a week at most, the electric wires will be pulled to our brigade. When the time comes, each household that wants electricity will have to pay a 5 yuan wire pulling fee, said Li Yue. Electric wires are very expensive these days. The north is vast and the distances between houses are not close. The government pays most of the 5 yuan wire laying fee. Suemo took out 5 yuan from her pocket and gave it to Li Yue. Mom, please help me give it to Dad later. Okay. Li Yue took the money. Your father and his team went to do a survey today. There aren't many families in the brigade who need electricity, only about 30 or so. If the number is small, the power supply station may not be willing to provide it.
Why?
Suemo was a little surprised. This is less than 1/5. It's so convenient to have electricity. It won't be pitch black at night. The electricity bill is too expensive, Li Yue said. It costs 2.20 cents per kilowatt hour. Even if you use it sparingly, you'll need 10 kilowatt hours of electricity a month. That's more than 2 yuan per month. How can I afford it? If you use kerosene lamps sparingly, you'll only need a little over a pound a month, which is only a few cents. Suemo thought it through. Most light bulbs are 15 watts now. A 15-watt light bulb, turned on for 24 hours, only consumes 0.36 kilowatt hours of electricity. Moreover, rural people are thrifty and only turn on their light bulbs for 3 to 4 hours at night. Calculated based on 4 hours, it only consumes 0.06 kilowatt hours of electricity a day and 1.8 kilowatt hours a month. The electricity bill is no more than 40 cents. Mom, no need. If you only turn on a 15-watt light for 3 or 4 hours at night, the electricity bill is only 40 cents a month. Li Yue was surprised, so cheap? She was worried that she would have to spend a lot more every month in the future. If the electricity bill is only a few cents, it is definitely better than using kerosene lamps. You need tickets to buy kerosene, while electric lights are much better. Once turned on, the whole room is bright. Mom, when you ask Dad and the others to do the statistics, please calculate the electricity bill for them. As long as the lights are not on all day, it can be done within $1. It is estimated that the 2 elderly people have never studied physics and do not know how to do math. Okay, I'll go back and tell him that for a few cents of electricity, everyone will definitely be willing to run the wires. That time, there were 2 ways to pay electricity bills. If you had an electricity meter installed, you paid according to the actual usage. If you didn't, you paid according to the number of bulbs used. This was called the bulb system. When getting off the car, Suemo gave Li Yue a towel blanket, 2 cans of yellow peaches, and a bar of soap. Mom, I've paid my salary and benefits today. Take these things. The towel blanket is for me. Li Yue took the offer with a smile. The new year was coming soon and Xiaoma had knitted a sweater for her, so she had to make a piece of clothing for her too. When Lu Xiaolan got home from get-off work, she found that her trouble-making elder sister-in-law Yang Limin was back again. It seemed that she was going to stay at home for the night. A few days ago also affected Yang Limin's father-in-law, the second in command of the Revolutionary Committee. Although he was not removed from office, he was punished and even demoted to a lower rank. The atmosphere at home was already heavy, and when Yang Liming's mother-in-law found out that Liu Chongzheng was actually her sister-in-law's biological brother, she scolded her harshly. Yang Limin was so frustrated at her husband's house that she found an excuse to go back to her parents' house, hoping to vent her anger on Liu Xiaolan and find a sense of existence. Seeing Liu Xiaolan coming back, Yang Limin came over with a high profile. "I heard that your supply and marketing cooperative brought in defective goods today?" Liu Xiaolan nodded, really not wanting to pay attention to her. Anything good? Although she didn't want to admit it, occasionally taking some affordable semi-defective products back from Liu Xiaolan was also a way for Yang Limin to earn face in her husband's family. "No, my share will be left to my parents." Yang Limin choked and said dissatisfiedly, "Why stay? You are not willing to help transfer Jingming to a new position. What's the point of visiting a family like this? Although my brother didn't transfer Jingming to another position, he at least promoted him to a higher level. What about you? As the eldest sister, what have you done for Jingming?" Liu Xiaolan pouted directly. She had endured this sister-in-law for long enough and was not prepared to endure it any longer. Yang Limin didn't expect Liu Xiaolan to dare to poke her. She was stunned for a moment. After she came to her senses, she was really angry and felt that her dignity was offended. "You are so outrageous. How dare you talk to me like that? Why shouldn't I? You are a married woman who often goes back to her parents' home to ask for money, yet you dare to boss people around at home. As someone who earns a salary for the family, should I be bullied by you?" Feng Chunfeng is the head of the family now. Liu Xiaolan has to pay 15 yuan every month, and Yang Jingming has to pay 20 yuan every month. You. Yang Limin pointed at Liu Xiaolan and trembled with anger. "You are a hen that doesn't lay eggs. You really have no manners at all. Jingming is so unlucky to marry you." Liu Xiaolan slapped Yang Limin's hand away. "Who don't lay eggs? I'm in good health. There's nothing wrong with me. You are well-mannered? You are well-mannered, but you always come back to your parents' home to cause trouble? You don't feel accomplished if you don't make your parents' home in chaos? Or is it unlucky to marry me? I think Jingming is unlucky to have a sister like you. I think you just can't stand others doing well. If you don't live well, you want to make everyone else suffer." Feng Chunfeng was cooking in the house when she heard someone quarreling in the yard. She hurried out to see what was happening and found that it was her daughter-in-law and daughter quarreling. Several households nearby were already looking in. He quickly scolded. "What are you arguing about? If you have something to say, why don't you just talk it out politely? You are embarrassing yourself in public." After being scolded, the two of them shut up. Liu Xiaolan went back to her room, and Yang Limin followed her to the kitchen to complain to Feng Chunfeng. Yang Limin talked a lot, and when she saw that her mother didn't agree with her at all, she became unhappy. "Mom, you didn't say a word to her, and just let her scold me? I have never seen a sister-in-law dare to scold her elder sister-in-law like this."
There's so many people like this.
"You haven't seen them. That's because you don't have experience," Feng Chunfeng said calmly. "Besides, she's not wrong. If you have nothing to do, come back less often, so your in-laws won't say you're running back and forth to your parents' home every other day." Yang Limin opened her mouth wide, unable to utter a word. What happened today? Are they all possessed? Why are they all talking to her like this? Qingxi County is very small, and Feng Chunfeng and his wife had already heard about Yang Limin's in-laws' affairs a long time ago. They have been trying to curry favor with their in-laws for so many years, but they haven't actually gained much benefit. They are even worse off than their daughter-in-law's brother. Although he didn't get a transfer, at least he was promoted to a higher level. Moreover, judging from the vigorous and resolute actions in the county, it can be seen that these two people have great potential in the future. Both of them are typical profit-oriented people. They will support whoever is willing to give them benefits and whoever they can follow for more benefits. One relative is on the decline, while the other is in his prime with a bright future, so they naturally support the one with better prospects. Therefore, during this period of time, Feng Chunfeng no longer forced Liu Xiaolan to take medicine. Anyway, the doctors said that there was nothing wrong with my body, and I would wait and see. Some people are born with a late birth, so there is no need to rush. After Yang's father Yang Yuping and Yang Jingming came back, Fang Chunfang started preparing dinner. Fang Chunfang criticized Yang Limin in front of Lu Xiaolan. Yang Yuping also said something to Yang Limin, asking her to come home less often and take good care of the children and her parents-in-law at her husband's house. Yang Limin was so moved that she burst into tears. She went back to her room, without finishing her meal. Lu Xiaolan looked at her in-laws who were so enthusiastic about her, but she was not moved at all. She just felt a chill in her heart. She had seen how enthusiastic the couple was towards Yang Limin before, and they would let her take any good things from home to her husband's family. Now, seeing that something happened to her husband's family, they suddenly turned their backs on her. If even his own daughter is treated like this, how much treatment can she, a daughter-in-law and an outsider, receive? Unless the third brother can continue to rise steadily and help their family from time to time, I'm afraid they will fall out immediately. How blind was she to think this family was pretty good? Is a son raised by such parents really worth relying on? Lu Xiaolan was very confused. She finished her meal hastily and went back to her room. After a while, Yang Jingming also came in. My elder sister never thinks before she speaks, so don't take it to heart. Jingming, don't you think that your elder sister is actually very pitiful? It's just that there must be something hateful about pitiful people. Yang Limin was not bad-looking, and she married him because of her appearance. It can be said that everyone in her family was good-looking, and she was attracted to Yang Jingming because of his handsome appearance. Poor? What's pitiful about it? Yang Jingming was confused. Do you think she's living well in her husband's family? Her parents' side has no help at all, and they're still relying on Farah, so I'm afraid things won't be much better. It's pretty good. I haven't seen the elder sister come back to complain. Yang Jingming said. Lu Xiaolan curled her lips and said nothing more. She had been married for a year and had only met her brother-in-law on her wedding day. If it were really good, he wouldn't be so close that he wouldn't come to visit once a year. Does Yang Jingming really not understand? Or is he pretending not to understand? The weekend, Lu Changzheng hurried back, picked up Su Mo and left quickly again. Before that I would take my wife to absorb energy, but I am too busy every weekend. Now the trees have been cut down and piled together, and they will be transported away in 2 days. It is a good time to take my wife and save the trouble of going to absorb energy from each tree. Leading to the gold mine has been opened, and the entrance is just past Lijiao. This is also Sumo's first time here. Took less than a month. I have to say that no matter what time it is, China's speed is really amazing. But the road is new and hasn't been repaired yet, so it's quite bumpy. This road still needs to be consolidated and repaired. In a couple of days, we will ask the young and strong men from the nearby brigade to come and help, and we will give them some subsidies. Lu Changzheng said. He applied for a subsidy of 50 cents a day. The two soon arrived at the first pile of trees. These trees were cut down early, so they have lost a lot of vitality, but when they are piled together, they still have a lot of energy. Lu Changzheng was responsible for letting out the wind, and Su Mo was responsible for inhaling. Su Mo also felt the strong desire of the little guys. Since the last feeding, Sumo's connection with the two little guys has become deeper, a bit like a mother-child bond. Seeing that the two little guys were so eager, Su Mo shared some of the energy she absorbed with them. After absorbing this pile, Lu Changzheng took Su Mo to other ones. After absorbing more than 10 piles, Su Mo's ability finally reached the second level. At this time, both the little guy and Su Mo had reached saturation of energy, so Su Mo stopped. What's the matter? Lu Changzheng asked when he saw Su Mo stop. Upgraded. There's still a lot over there. Do you want to take some more? Su Mo shook her head. It's just like eating. If you're full, you won't be able to eat anymore. Lu Changzheng nodded, and seeing that they had come this far, he asked, Do you want to go check out the camp?
Okay.
It's a good opportunity to go and see Lu Changzheng's working environment. The further we went in, the more green military uniforms we saw, either moving felled trees or repairing roads. Lu Changzheng drove the car to an area of green tents and stopped. Everyone is still living in tents now. It will probably take another month or so to build the houses. It's like this, but the conditions weren't so good back then. The sentries saw Lu Chongjing coming back. They quickly saluted. Although they were a little curious about Su Mo, they still kept their eyes straight ahead. Lu Chongjing was in a good mood and introduced her. "This is my wife." The sentries quickly shouted, "Hello, sister-in-law." Su Mo responded with a smile. Lu Chongjing took Su Mo for a tour around the camp and looked at the location of the gold mine from afar. Along the way, he received countless "hello, sister-in-law," and Su Mo's face almost froze with smiles. After Lu Chongjing showed off his wife, he sent her home. On the way back, Su Mo pinched Lu Chongjing and said, "Tell me the truth, are there any female soldiers who are targeting you?" She had noticed that several female soldiers had obviously unhappy expressions when they saw her. This Lu Chongjing is the regiment commander at such a young age, and he is handsome, which really attracts people's attention. No, I didn't pay attention. In my opinion, there are no male or female soldiers, they are all soldiers. Lu Chongjing was shocked. There were indeed a few female soldiers who would run in front of him from time to time, which was quite an eyesore. He brought his wife here today to show that he is married. He has only been in this group for a short time, so not many people probably know that he is married. Su Mo gave him an ambiguous look. "Wife, don't worry, my heart is with you. In my eyes, those people are not even as good as your toes." Lu Chongjing quickly expressed his loyalty. "Today, everyone knows that I have a wife who is so pretty and outstanding. No one will dare to have any ideas about her anymore." She still had some confidence in Lu Chongjing, but she felt unhappy that someone else was thinking about her man. Seeing that Su Mo didn't say anything, Lu Chongjing hurriedly said, "We have almost finished all the important matters. I will rectify the atmosphere right now. If there are still those who don't know how to live or die, they will be transferred away." Lu Chongjing also wiped his sweat. He was in the front-line troops before, where there were basically no female comrades. He really didn't pay attention to these things at first, as everyone was working and coordinating normally. He only recently realized something was wrong. So, he quickly brought his wife here to show off and let those outsiders stay away from him. Within 2 days, the electric wires were pulled to the Lujia village brigade, and it was a foregone conclusion that electricity would be available before the new year. After some mobilization by Lu Qing'an and Lu Baogua in the following days, more than 80 households in the brigade were to have electricity, while the others would wait and see, and only apply for installation after they were sure that the electricity bill was really not expensive. Along with the electrical wires came telephone lines. The telephones awarded by the commune were also installed before the new year, and the brigade members were very happy. From now on, it will be convenient to contact you if anything happens. Su Mo was also very happy. Although she still had to go to the post office to make a long-distance call, she could still receive the call. Su Mo asked for the number and thought about calling Guangxi province tomorrow to tell them the number. Pulled, someone had to be at home, so Su Mo took a day off. More than 80 households, which is not a small number. Many people from the power supply station also came and soon arrived at Su Mo's place. After the power supply station staff pulled the line to Su Mo's house, they said, "Comrade, the electricity meter we applied for hasn't come out yet. For the first 2 months, we'll use the package lighting charging method. How many lights do you want to install in your home?" The electricity supplied to the Lujia village brigade was only approved not long ago. The power supply station did not apply for electricity meters in advance, so it can only adopt the package lighting system charging method commonly used in the 1950s. Su Mo was confused. What is the package light system? It's a monthly charge for light bulbs. 15 watts for 15 watts, 25 watts for 25 watts, and 40 watts for 40 watts. After the meter is installed, the charge will be based on the actual usage. We have entrusted your brigade to help collect the electricity bill, and you can pay directly at the brigade headquarters.
주문하디.
And the money for the light bulbs. A 40-watt bulb is 38 cents, and a 25-watt bulb is 30 cents. Su Mo quickly gave the 98 cents for the light bulb. The people at the power supply station were very efficient, and by mid-afternoon, they had completed the installation for more than 80 households. That night, after the electricity was installed, the house became lively. Normally people go to bed early, but that night, many people kept the lights on in their homes until 11 or 12 o'clock. The next day at noon, when Su Mo was eating in the cafeteria, she met a postman delivering mail. The man saw Su Mo and stepped forward and said, "Su Jiqing, there's a package from Comrade Lu Boming at the post office. Go pick it up when you get off work." If the package was not big, he could take it with him when he delivered the letter, but the package was not small, and it was not convenient for him to ride a bike. It happened that he had seen Su Mo riding a donkey cart to work several times, so he asked her to pick it up. "And your letter and remittance advice." The postman took out Su Mo's letter and remittance advice and gave them to her. The remittance slip is for the royalties for January, which is only 15 yuan. It seems that the struggle is still fierce, and the royalties are less than last month. She sincerely hoped that her editor-in-chief would achieve ultimate victory. After all, the leader of a certain country was about to visit China, and she was thinking of getting some manuscripts to translate by then. Afraid that the people at the post office would have gone off work, Su Mo went there a little earlier to pick up the remittance and package. Li Yue came to pick up Su Mo. She saw that she was holding a large package, so she quickly came down to help her put it in the car. "Is this something your aunt sent to you? How many things must have been sent here?" "No, this is my package,"
Su Mo said.
Li Yue was stunned. It should be sent by that leader. This year's package is more than twice as big as in previous years. She thought that the third brother used his connections and wouldn't send it this year, as it always arrived early in previous years. Li Yue returned. The children saw her holding a big package and came out from their homes to watch. They also know that this is sent to the great-grandfather. It is given every year and contains so many delicious foods. Seeing the children blinking their eyes at him, Lu Boming asked Lu Qing'an to open the package. The Lu family's main room is also equipped with 40W lights, so it is also very bright. Lu Qing'an took out the things and put them on the table one by one, including milk powder, condensed milk, candy, canned food, bacon, sausage, and other food, as well as tea and cigarettes. These were similar to previous years, but the quantity was more than doubled. I also had 2 more pieces of cloth than in previous years, a military coat, and a pair of shoes with fleece lining. Lu Qing'an took out the letter tucked into his military coat and handed it to Lu Boming with confusion in his eyes. Why are there suddenly so many more than in previous years? What does this mean? After reading the letter, Lu Boming smiled and patted Lu Qing'an, saying, "It's okay, keep it. You gave birth to a good son." The leader originally sent his trusted secretary, Xin, to Shuangshan City in the hope of taking control of the area, but over the years, there has not been much success. The gold mine incident gave Secretary Xin a push, and the joint efforts of Lu Chongzheng and Geng Chongqing to rectify Qingxi County gave Secretary Xin a lot of help, allowing him to seize the opportunity and take control in one fell swoop. The leader sent so many things this time to express his gratitude to Lu Chongzheng and others for their great help. Lu Qing'an finally breathed a sigh of relief, as long as the relationship wasn't going to end. Although they didn't intend to trouble the leaders, it was always good to have such a relationship. Having a backer behind them would always make them feel more at ease. Lu Boming asked Li Yue to open the bag of candy and share it among his 5 great-grandchildren. After sending the child away, Lu Boming said to Li Yue, "Keep the milk powder and condensed milk. Give them to Xiaoma when she gives birth. There are 2 of them, and she can't feed them all by herself. They must be fed with milk powder. Keep these tea and cigarettes. They will be useful when you need to establish connections. As for the rest of the food, divide it into 4 portions, 1 for each family. Give this military coat to Chongzheng." He gave this year's coat to Xiaoma. I think he is still wearing an old one himself. 2 pieces of cloth, 1 for you and 1 for Qing'an. The woolen shoes are men's style, for Qing'an to wear. Lu Qing'an waved his hand. "Dad, I have shoes. These shoes are warm. You can wear them. I don't go out often, so I'm afraid your cotton shoes are no longer warm. Wear them." Lu Qing'an was a little tearful. His father cared about him and noticed that his cotton shoes were no longer warm, divided the things according to Lu Boming's request, and sent them to each household. When Lu Weigua saw Li Yue taking the military coat and going to the third brother's house, he felt a little envious. He rides a bicycle to work every day. It's okay when it's not windy, but it's really cold when it's windy. He actually wants a military coat. The third child had sent back 2 pieces before, one for Grandpa and one for Dad. He was also thinking that when he got the new one, he would ask them for the old one to replace. Now it seems that it is not possible. Su Mo is currently processing wild ginseng at home. Of the 3 roots she dug out before, the remaining one has been stimulated by her supernatural powers over this period of time. I'm afraid that the age of this one is not worse than the one she gave to Lu Boming. She planned to process this wild ginseng and give it to Geng Chongqing as a gift. Hearing Li Yue coming, Su Mo quickly put the things into the space. Mom, why did you bring so many things? Su Mo was a little surprised to see her bringing so many things. Your grandfather told me to do this, and I'm doing what he told me to do. Li Yue said, this military coat is for the third brother. Li Yue put the food on the table and took out a plaid dress from her military coat, saying, Xiaoma, this is the dress your mother made for you. Try it on and see if it fits you. Mom, I have so many clothes. Why are you making them for me? You can keep them for yourself. Li Yue glared at her and said, you are allowed to knit sweaters for me, but I am not allowed to make you a piece of clothing. Try it on and see if it fits you. Su Mo took off her cotton jacket and tried it on. This is a coat imitating the style of Lenin's suit. Every detail is handled very well. It fits Su Mo very well, and it looks simple and generous. Mom, it fits me well and looks great, thank you.
Su Mo said.
This dress is really nice. It looks simple, but it is actually cut very smoothly. I have to say that Li Yue is worthy of being the daughter of a tailor. As long as you like it. Li Yue was also satisfied. It had been a long time since she had made a piece of clothing so seriously. Such good clothes can only look good when worn by good-looking people. By the way, Xiaoma, the team will slaughter the New Year pig tomorrow. If you want to buy something, I'll ask your father to buy it.
Li Yue said.
The brigade kept 6 big fat pigs for the New Year this year. Everyone got a lot of money this year, and if there was any meat left after the distribution, everyone would definitely buy some. Xiaoma has to go back to work. By the time she comes back, I'm afraid there won't be any bones left. If she sent her there, there would be no good meat left when she came back. Let the old man go, after all, he is the secretary of the branch, so he can buy some good meat. Su Mo directly took out 10 yuan and gave it to Li Yue, saying, let Dad decide what to buy. If there are good ones, buy the good ones. If there are not good ones, buy some pork ribs. Speaking of pigs, there are 2 big wild boars in my space. I have to find a time to let Lu Chongqing kill them. I will then put the meat in the space and eat it slowly. Li Yue went back and told Lu Qing'an about Su Mo's needs. Just as Lu Qing'an was about to agree, Lu Boming spoke first. I'll buy it for her tomorrow. Li Yue was happy. With her father's prestige in the brigade, he would definitely be able to buy good meat. The next day, when the brigade notified people to distribute the meat, Lu Boming put on his clothes and went. Su Mo had too few work points and was not eligible for a share of the meat. When Lu Boming arrived, he just watched from the side. There were a lot of people gathered at the brigade headquarters at this moment. They were very surprised to see Lu Boming coming over and came over to greet him. After the meat was divided, the remaining meat could be sold to the members. Those waiting to buy meat all let Lu Boming choose first. Since Lu Boming had already planned to buy meat for Su Mo, he would not be modest. This year during the Spring Festival, we not only slaughtered 6 New Year pigs, but also 6 sheep. Each of the New Year pigs was first-rate pig weighing about 160 pounds, so there was a lot of meat left over. Lu Boming ordered 5 kilograms of pork, 2 kilograms of mutton, and 4 kilograms of spare ribs, spending a total of 7 yuan and 12 cents. After paying the money, Lu Boming picked up his things and prepared to go back. Lu Bagua came over quickly and stopped him, saying, "Old party secretary, remember to come back later to eat the pig-killing meal." This is a tradition in Lujia village. Every year, when the New Year pig is slaughtered, some of the pig's offal and pork are taken out to cook the slaughtered pig dishes and give them to the lonely elderly or the elderly and children from poor families in the village, so that they can also eat meat during the Chinese New Year. Of course, there are no strict restrictions. As long as the people are old or young, and as long as they are not particularly greedy, as long as they ask for it, the person who cooks the pig-killing dish will scoop them a spoonful or two. This tradition was passed down from the time when the Liu family was a local gentry. In the past, the Liu family paid for it, but now the brigade does it. Okay, I'll come over in a moment. Liu Boming did not refuse. He hadn't chatted with everyone for a long time, so it was a good opportunity to chat with them later. Now that he was well again, he could contribute to the team again. From what he heard from Xiaoma, he knew that she wanted to experiment with setting up a vegetable group in the brigade to supply vegetables to the canteen and the troops. These old guys can't do heavy work, but they can still grow vegetables. When the time comes, he will be the team leader, organize these old people, and get this thing done. By then, if this matter succeeds, it can generate income for the brigade. If not, it will not cause much loss to the brigade. On February 13th, Sunday, Liu Chongjing finally had a day off after his transfer. The Chinese New Year is coming soon, and he plans to accompany his wife to the city to buy some New Year's goods. Suemo packed up the dried wild ginseng and prepared to go, and wish Gang Chongqing a happy New Year first. Just say that I found this wild ginseng when I came back from your camp last time. Suemo instructed Liu Chongjing, in order to avoid the two people having different stories and being exposed. The two first went to Gang Chongqing's dormitory in the county town, but he was not there. They then went to the county government and found Gang Chongqing was indeed working overtime. When he saw Suemo, Gang Chongqing immediately praised the project proposal form she had made. This girl was really making him look at her with new eyes. If this project establishment form is popularized, many projects that are launched on a whim can be blocked, and a lot of financial funds can be saved. Any projects that cannot even be clearly explained. Suemo felt very embarrassed by what Gang Chongqing said. This was the result of the experience summarized by many great masters in later generations, and she didn't dare to take credit for it. Uncle Gang, I saw this in a book. My great-uncle and his family often use it this way. Suemo could only push it to foreign countries. This project establishment form was indeed transmitted by a foreign company in the beginning. Are you good at English? Gang Chongqing asked. He had never studied abroad, and he studied Russian in college. It's okay. My dad taught me before, and I read a lot of books. Don't waste your time. Review more in private. Gang Chongqing reminded him that he had heard some rumors from his old leader that the situation might be changing.
Yes.
Suemo nodded, guessing that Gang Chongqing must have heard the news. Uncle Gang, this is my New Year gift to you. Suemo carefully took out the wrapped wild ginseng from her bag. Gang Chongqing took it, opened it, and saw that it was wild ginseng. It looked quite old. His pupils shrank and he asked in surprise, "Where did you get the wild ginseng?" "I went to the camp with Chongzheng last week and found it by accident on the way back." Gang Chongqing.
He didn't know what to say.
This girl must be Bu Kaishen's biological daughter, right? Why are all the good things given to her? Gang Chongqing took a look, wrapped up the wild ginseng, and handed it back to Suemo. It's enough as long as the thought is there. You can keep it for yourself. This girl is going to give birth to a baby soon, so it would be more reassuring for her to keep this thing. Suemo waved her hand. No, I still have some. Gang Chongqing stretched out his hand, then silently retracted it and put the wild ginseng away. You're welcome, the chosen one. It just so happened that my old leader was getting old and not in good health, and he was going to Beijing on business after the New Year, so I decided to give him the gift. Leaving, Liu Chongjing invited Gang Chongqing to celebrate the New Year with him. Secretary Gang, on New Year's Eve, come to my house after work for a reunion dinner. Okay. Gang Chongqing didn't refuse. Since he had relatives here, he would naturally go with them. When the time comes, he will take time to visit Brother Qian and the others. Liu Chongjing drove Suemo directly to the city. The couple went shopping in the department store first, bought a hat for Lu Boming and Lu Qing'an, and a pair of shoes for Li Yue, spending a total of 11 yuan. Lu Changzheng originally wanted to buy clothes for Su Mo, but the original owner had already brought a lot of clothes, and his aunt also brought so much cloth, and Li Yue made another one for her a few days ago. She really didn't lack clothes to wear, so he didn't buy any. The two of them went to the grocery store again, and bought some sausages, bacon, and dried goods, as well as a few pounds of fresh meat. They would then ask Lu Changzheng to deliver them to the cowshed for their parents to celebrate the new year. The couple shopped for a while, but seeing nothing to buy, they went home. On the way back, Su Mo said to Lu Changzheng, "I have 2 wild boars in my space. Can you find a place to kill them and cut up the meat? I will eat them slowly after I collect the space." Lu Changzheng was also shocked. His wife was so amazing that she could even kill a wild boar. Wife, wild boars are very fierce. Next time you see one, run away quickly. It's more important to take care of yourself. We don't need that piece of meat. His wife has superpowers. Her abilities don't seem to be very powerful. I know. When I saw it, the wild boar was already dead. I just picked it up. How did it die?
Can it be eaten?
This dead wild boar cannot be picked up casually. What if it ate some poisonous grass or something? Then they will all be put down. It's edible. I picked it up right after it died. I saw it was bleeding a lot. I guess it was shot. Lu Changzheng secretly mourned for the hunting militia. They finally caught some prey, but it was picked up by his wife. About where to kill the wild boar. If he killed it at home, the bloody smell of the wild boar would be very strong, and anyone who came or passed by would be able to smell it. I still have to find a chance to go to the mountains, drain the blood, and then peel the skin directly. Do it while it is still snowing, because once it's buried in the snow, there will be no trace left. Wife, after the new year, I'll find a chance to go to the mountains and kill. Su Mo nodded. She happened to think so too. February 14th, New Year's Eve. Reunion dinner is a tradition that has been passed down for thousands of years, so all units will take appropriate measures to give a holiday today and only work half a day. When Geng Chongqing was the top leader, he would pay out of his own pocket to give each commune cadre a pound of meat during the New Year's Eve holiday. 20 fish from the fish farming team. After working half a day, Su Mo returned home carrying the fish given by Li Hongjun and the snacks she bought at the supply and marketing cooperative in the morning. They were going to have a reunion dinner today, and Li Yue was busy cooking at home, so Su Mo didn't ask her to pick her up and walked back by herself. Halfway through the journey, they happened to meet a vehicle carrying supplies to the army. The cook who was following the vehicle had also seen Su Mo that day, so he quickly asked the driver to stop the vehicle. The young cook jumped out of the car and shouted to Su Mo, "Sister-in-law, are you going to see the head of the group?" Su Mo had some impression of this cook, so she smiled and waved her hand. "No, I'm going home, just in front of the Lujia village brigade." The young soldier scratched his head in embarrassment. He had heard that the new commander was a local, but he didn't expect him to be so local. The village was almost right at the entrance of the camp. "Then, sister-in-law, we'll give you a ride." "Okay, thank you." Su Mo did not refuse. It might take a few minutes to drive there, but it would take her more than half an hour to walk there. The young soldier asked Su Mo to sit in the passenger seat, and he went into the truck bed. In the car, Su Mo chatted with the two people and learned their names. The cook was called Wu, and the driver was called Qin Gang. I also know that the two of them went to pick up the supplies for the new year. During the new year, we have to give the soldiers some meat. Lu Changzheng also said yesterday that he would be back late today and would have a reunion dinner with the soldiers in the army first, so they didn't have to wait for him to eat. The two soldiers sent Su Mo to the brigade headquarters. Before getting off the car, Su Mo gave each of them 2 pieces of cake. The two did not dare to take them, so Su Mo forced them to take them. After arriving home, Su Mo took out the steamed buns from the space and had a simple lunch. Then I lit a fire and fried the chestnuts and pine nuts. If anyone comes to visit during the new year, I can use them to entertain them. After frying, Su Mo started to seal the red envelopes again. On New Year's Eve, people had to give out lucky money. Lu Changzheng handed in his salary for last month yesterday. It was 127 yuan. After deducting 14 yuan for food expenses, he kept 3 yuan for pocket money and gave the remaining 110 yuan to Su Mo how much money to give, so she could only give according to the ratio of money her father gave to his parents during the Spring Festival in the future. Her father used to take half a month's salary and give it to the elders. Lu Changjing's half-month salary was more than 60 yuan, so the envelopes Su Mo gave to the 3 elders were 20 yuan each. For the 5 children, they gave each one 2 yuan. After all, Lu Changjing was a regiment leader with a salary of more than 100 yuan, and he only gave out red envelopes once during the Chinese New Year, so there was no need to be too stingy. In the afternoon, Geng Chongqing came and brought a lot of things. There were at least 20 to 30 kilograms of rice and flour alone, and he also bought fresh pork and mutton, as well as wine and cigarettes. Geng Chongqing basically ate in the cafeteria. He didn't eat much himself, and he had 45 kilograms of food every month, so he saved a lot and gave it all to Su Mo this time. Have you sent the New Year gifts to your parents? Geng Chongqing asked after putting the gifts away. Yes, Chongjing took it early this morning. Geng Chongqing nodded and said, just send it. Seeing that there was no New Year atmosphere at home, Geng Chongqing helped Su Mo cut window flowers and red paper and paste them. As for Spring Festival couplets and New Year pictures, there are none. Su Mo is a typical Southerner. On New Year's Eve, she would go back to her hometown to worship her ancestors in the ancestral temple. But here, she didn't seem to have seen the ancestral temple. It might be that it was demolished because of the special period. After finishing everything here, Su Mo and Geng Chongqing carried their things and went to Lu's house. The Lu family was very lively, with a whole family gathered in the main room, with a fire burning warmly, making dumplings and chatting together. Even Lu Hohot, who hadn't been seen for a long time, was there. Although she looked haggard, she at least had a smile on her face. Seeing Geng Chongqing coming with cigarettes, alcohol, and meat in his hands, Lu Qinggan quickly stood up and took them. Hey, Secretary Geng, it's good that you're here. Why are you carrying so many things? Geng Chongqing waved his hand. Brother, I am here today as a relative. Just call me Chongqing. Lu Qinggan laughed. He had called him Secretary Geng for so many years and was used to it. He couldn't change his way of speaking for the moment, so he quickly went to meet Geng Chongqing and went to the side to drink tea and chat. Su Mo also took out the things she brought. In addition to snacks, she also took a fish and about 2 kilograms of ribs. Giving the snacks to the children, Su Mo helped make dumplings. After that, they went to the kitchen to help cook. With 4 people and 2 pots working together, the cooking was quite fast and the food was on the table in just over an hour. The New Year's Eve dinner was very rich, with braised fish, braised pork, mutton soup, chicken stewed with mushroom vermicelli, pork rib stewed with potatoes, braised pig's trotters with peanuts, fried tofu, and a large plate of fried lettuce. The staple food was dumplings and steamed buns. The braised pork and fried tofu were prepared by the first wife. The braised pork knuckles with peanuts were from the second wife, who also brought a few pounds of white flour. The braised fish, pork ribs stewed with potatoes and lettuce were brought by Su Mo, and the mutton soup and chicken stewed with mushrooms and vermicelli were made by Li Yue. Such a New Year's Eve dinner would not be bad even in later generations, let alone now. The children were already drooling with greed, and since Lu Changjing told them not to wait for him, they all started eating first. Around 8 o'clock, Lu Changjing also came back and started drinking and chatting with us. The men chat, they mostly talk about work. During the conversation, Geng Chongqing revealed a piece of news, that is, the credit union plans to set up credit stations in several large brigades of Hongqi Commune after the new year to assist them in cash management at the grassroots level. As an advanced brigade, Lujia Village Brigade will definitely have it. It was also mentioned that the staff of the credit station are generally part-time people from the brigade. In addition to enjoying the average annual work points of the entire labor force of the production team, they also receive a subsidy of 6 yuan per month and a bonus of several dozen yuan at the end of the year. This bonus is related to the amount of money the mobilizer has saved. The more money saved, the greater the bonus. If you do a good enough job, it may be possible to get a job at a credit union in the future. Gung Chongqing had already mentioned this, so Lu Xingjuan understood it very well. He immediately toasted Gung Chongqing and said that he would prepare well and pass the exam when the credit station recruited people. He has been working as an accountant for many years and has frequent dealings with credit unions. If he prepares early, he will still be very confident in himself. As long as he passed the exam, he would be a salaried person in the future. Otherwise, he would be the only one in the family without a salary, which would make him feel very uncomfortable. As expected, it is better to have someone at home to know the news early and prepare early. Once this news gets out, there will definitely be a scramble for it. All the educated youth from the city would want such a job. The men talked about men's things, the women talked about women's things, and the mothers-in-law and daughters-in-law also talked about family matters. When they learned that Su Mo was pregnant with twins, Lu Yuji and Lu Hohot were surprised and envious. These three brothers and sisters are so lucky. She had a good family background, married a good man, and was even better at giving birth to children than others, giving birth to two at once. It would be even more serious if both of them were men. Now that my mother-in-law has spoiled me like this, who knows what will happen in the future? After dinner, everyone packed up and it was time for the younger generation to pay New Year's greetings. Before the New Year's greetings, Lu Boming made a summary. A lot has happened in our family over the past year. Xiaolan and Changjing have both gotten married, and you brothers and sisters have all started your own families. Your parents have completed their mission. Now that we have separated, it is normal for a tree to branch out. We don't have to eat together to be considered a family. It is more important than anything else for you families to live in harmony. This year has been smooth for our family. There have been no big happy events, but there have been no disasters either. That's how life is. A simple and ordinary life is a blessing. Something happened in the second brother's family and his wife's family. No one can say that their life will be smooth sailing. As long as you can be clear-headed and stand firm, your life will gradually get better. Now that the two boys are growing up, you two have to work harder. The third child's family has the most happy events this year. He has started a family, got promoted and transferred back, and Xiaoma is pregnant. The third child has a heavier task and must work harder to make more contributions to your small family and the motherland. In the new year, I have no more requirements for you. I just hope that you young people will be safe and healthy, united and help each other, and live in harmony. Today, we are all here and I want to thank Xiaoma. I was not supposed to survive this year, but thanks to Xiaoma, I can still live a few more years. It was she who spent 100 years searching for wild ginseng in the mountains, and she saved my life. The wild ginseng before, fearing that it would be confiscated if it got out. Now that the ginseng had been eaten, Lu Boming told him, while everyone was gathered. Xiaoma saved the old man's life, so there was nothing to hide. If I favor Xiaoma more, you two families shouldn't think too much about it. The first and second wives never thought that it was the wild ginseng found by Su Mo that saved the old man, and they all said that they would not think too much about it. After saying this, the 5 younger generations began to kowtow to Lu Boming and wish him a happy new year. After paying respects to the 3 elders, they then paid respects to the uncles and aunts. Although they had to kowtow, they got red envelopes, and the 5 children were so happy that they couldn't stop smiling. After the younger generations finished paying their respects, the middle-aged generation also greeted the 3 elders in turn and gave them red envelopes. After the New Year's greetings, everyone went back to their own homes. As for whether to stay up all night or not, it was up to each person to decide. The harvest was good this year and electricity was available. The brigade was much more lively than in previous years. Almost every household had bright lights on and laughter was heard everywhere. After arriving home, Gung Chongqing took out a thick red envelope from his pocket and handed it to Su Mo. Xiao Mo, Happy New Year.
Zu Montag was stund.
Now that she is married, can she still get lucky money? We haven't celebrated the New Year together in many years, so I'll give you the New Year's money this year. Gung Chongqing flicked the snow off Su Mo's hat and stuffed the red envelope into Su Mo's hand. Seeing Gung Chongqing's actions, Lu Changjing's eyes flickered slightly. Secretary Gung seemed to be too kind to his wife. I've been very busy lately, so I won't stay up tonight. You guys can do whatever you want. Gung Chongqing waved his hand and went into the West Room. Su Mo didn't follow the custom of staying up all night, so she went back to her room and prepared to go to bed. Lu Chongjing said he would take the old man to the city for a walk tomorrow, so it would be a good time for them to rest early. Before going to bed, Su Mo counted the red envelope given by Gung Chongqing, which was another 200 yuan.
شما شهید.
Since she came, Uncle Gung's salary was probably all spent on her. The next day, after breakfast, Lu Chongjing drove the car and prepared to take the three elderly people to the city for a stroll. Gung Chongqing happened to have something to do with Secretary Cin, so he went along as well. Lu Chongjing was driving a relatively large jeep this time. Su Mo and Li Yue sat in the passenger seat, while the three men sat in the back seat. If this happened in the future, the driver's license would definitely be revoked. But at this time, no one checked these things. Li Yue was very excited about going to the city for the first time, but she was also worried that she would get carsick, and she was very nervous. Fortunately, Lu Chongjing drove steadily this time, and Li Yue did not get carsick during the more than 2-hour drive as she enjoyed the scenery outside along the way. When they arrived in the city, Lu Chongjing first sent Gung Chongqing to Secretary Cin. Upon learning that Lu Boming was also there, Secretary Cin hurried out and invited them in to sit for a while. Secretary Cin is from Beijing. He is busy with work and has no time to go back to reunite with his parents during these 3 days of vacation. So he asked his wife to take the children back. During the Chinese New Year, he was alone at home. Lu Chongjing knew that they had something to talk about, so after sitting for a while, he left with his family. After coming out, Su Mo first went to the post office to call Su Tinga to wish him a happy new year. Lu Chongjing also said a few words. Su Mo didn't hear clearly what he said, but Lu Chongjing looked serious and kept saying yes, yes, yes. After the phone call, I went shopping in the department store. Shuangshan City is a coal city with good economic development and a large number of employees. Although the department stores here cannot be compared with the 4 major department stores in Beijing, they are also the most impressive in Shuangshan City. Not all companies will give the 3-day Spring Festival holiday. Basically, all industries with a service nature have to go to work. There were people on duty in the commune, but they were all leaders, not small clerks like Su Mo. And it was only in the past 2 years that the atmosphere became more relaxed, and they started to have holidays. In the first few years of the movement, old customs were broken, and there were no holidays during the Spring Festival. In order to promote revolution and production, it was advocated that the war should not stop on the 30th, and work should continue on the first day of the new year. All holidays were cancelled. The department store in Shuangshan City is a large flat with various counters. Compared with the supply and marketing cooperatives in the countryside, the merchandise is dazzling. Soon as Li Yue entered, it was like Granny Lu entering the Grand View Garden. She was so overwhelmed with the sight. Department store in the 1970s not far from the entrance was the fabric counter. Li Yue hurried over. She was dazzled by the array of fabrics in various colors and patterns, and the tailor gene in her body was ready to move. How beautiful it would be if these cloths were made into clothes. Unfortunately, many styles of clothes are no longer made. Li Yue watched the fabric counter for a long time. Su Mo saw that she was absorbed in watching and asked, "Mom, what kind of fabric do you like? I'll pick some for you." Li Yue waved her hand. "No need. I just feel happy looking at these cloths. Life is getting better and better. Look at these cloths. They are so beautiful." Li Yue looked at it for a while before going to other counters to look at them one by one. Basically, there was a counter for each category. Li Yue was amazed and sighed as she watched, saying that it was good that this child had a promising future. If the third child hadn't brought her here, she wouldn't have had the chance to see such a world in her life. When she saw that there was a counter for candies, Li Yue exclaimed, she had never seen so many candies before. In the commune supply and marketing cooperative, there was only one kind of fruit candy wrapped in cellophane. As for milk candy, it was only available when Lu Chongjing occasionally sent it back. Candy counter no tickets were required to buy candy, and the children had just received their New Year's money, so they all ran to buy candy. The counter was crowded with children and adults, and the candy salesmen were so busy that they had no time to rest. Li Yue thought of her grandchildren at home, so she squeezed in and chose 2 kinds of candies she had never seen before and bought half a caddy of each. One was a crispy candy, which cost 55 cents per half caddy, and the other was a sandwich candy, which was more expensive, costing 90 cents per half caddy. All come to the city to see the world. Li Wei no longer cared about the expensive price and bought some back for her children to try. Li Yue gave the salesperson $1.50 and waited for him to make the change. The cashier method here is the classic aerial wire cashier. The department store is divided into several areas, each with a cashier counter. The cashier counter is built in the air, located in the middle of the area, with the cashier counter as the center of the circle, and steel wires are pulled from the air to each counter. After the customer gives the bill, the salesperson clips the bill with an iron clip and hangs it on a wire. When a switch is pressed, the clip is sent to the cashier in midair. After the cashier has given the change, he hangs the clip on the wire, pushes it hard, and it comes down again. I found online is similar to this, except that there are steel wires on all sides of the cash register at the department store. Li Wei watched the salesperson clip the money and hang it on the wire, then send it to the cashier counter. After a while, a clip slid down from the cashier counter, holding the 5 cents change for her. Li Wei was amazed and said to Su Emo beside her, "Xiao Emo, Mother has finally opened her eyes today." Su Emo smiled secretly. Not only did she open her eyes, she also opened her eyes. When she came last time, she also stared at it intently. "Xiaoma, what if it falls down? Wouldn't the money be picked up by someone?" Li Wei asked the question in her mind. Apparently, Li Wei was not the only one who thought this way. Su Emo saw many children following the conveying clips, probably thinking that they could be picked up if they fell. The clip should be very tight and generally won't fall off.
Je m'explique.
Looking at such a lively scene, Lu Boming's eyes couldn't help but become moist. This kind of life is great. The people no longer have to live in fear, no longer have to be enslaved like pigs and dogs, and can live a stable life. As long as they work hard enough, their lives will get better day by day. In the past, there were not so many things available for ordinary people to buy. If there was anything good, it had to be hidden for fear that it would be snatched away. Seeing Lu Boming's expression, Lu Chongjin comforted him. "Master, don't worry, your life will only get better and better in the future." He read the books about the future in his wife's space. The days to come were so good that it was beyond his imagination. There would be an abundance of goods and no purchase restrictions. There would be stores like department stores everywhere. Almost every family would have a car, and everyone could take an airplane. There was also something called a high-speed rail, which was incredibly fast. If I could see such a scene. Lu Boming wiped his eyes and said, "Yes, the days ahead will only get better and better." The group continued shopping, and when they came to the wool counter, Su Emo bought 2.5 kilograms of light gray wool, intending to knit a sweater for Gung Chongqing. Gung Chongqing took so much care of her family and gave them money and things from time to time, so she could only do these little things in return. In addition to the sweater, she planned to pick out a good piece of cloth from the one her aunt brought over and ask Li Wei to make her a Zhongshan suit. Some counters in department stores are dedicated to finished clothes and shoes and hats. The items here are more expensive, and there are fewer people visiting. While strolling, Lu Chongxing noticed a pair of eyes staring at him. Turning around, he saw that it was Luo Yuan, the director of the Qingxi County Revolutionary Committee, and next to her was a young woman who looked familiar. Lu Ping saw Lu Chongxing looking at her. She smiled and walked over with Luo Yuan. "Comrade Lu, what a coincidence. Bringing your family to the department store?" Lu Chongxing then recognized that this person was Lu Ping and said calmly, "Yes." Then he nodded to Luo Yuan as a greeting. At this time, Su Emo was accompanying Li Wei to choose a hat. A few days ago were nice. Since it was a rare visit, she thought of buying one for the second child as well, so that he wouldn't always complain that he didn't love her. Yesterday, the second brother's family gave her a red envelope of 10 yuan. Since they were generous, she was not a stingy person. When Su Emo heard someone talking to Lu Chongjing, she looked over. Lu Ping saw Su Emo. There was a hint of disdain in her eyes. But her face was pretty, not as pretty as her aunt said. Her figure was not good, and she had no taste. Su Emo was wearing her army green cotton jacket today. She didn't have many clothes in winter, so she had to alternate between 2 sets of cotton jackets. She was starting to look pregnant, and wearing a cotton jacket made her look out of shape. Su Emo saw the disdain in Lu Ping's eyes and felt completely confused. Where did this psychopath come from? Could it be another case of Lu Chongjing's bad luck in love? Comrade Lu, is this your wife and mother? Lu Ping asked. Before Lu Chongjing could answer, he extended his hand to Li Yue again. Auntie, hello, I'm Lu Ping. Li Yue's heart skipped a beat. How did they meet here? This former blind date looked like he had bad intentions. Xiaoma should not misunderstand him. Seeing that Lu Ping was still holding out her hand, Li Yue took a hat and put it in her hand. Do you want this hat? This woman doesn't look like a good person, not real at all. Fortunately, I didn't go to see her at that time. In this winter, she wears a woolen coat and doesn't feel cold. She will get rheumatism from the cold, and it will hurt her to death when she is old. Lu Ping's mouth twitched. She put the hat back, took back her hand, and curled her lips maliciously. Aunt, I am Lu Guangying's niece. I had an appointment with Comrade Lu Chongjing to see Lu Ping. It's a pity that my luck was a bit bad, and someone intercepted me halfway. Otherwise, we might have become a family. Lu Ping said this. There was an instant silence around them. Many people began to up their ears. Lu Chongzeng and Luo Yuan's faces also turned dark instantly. Lu Ping felt like she was going crazy. During this period of time, her heart has been strained to the limit. On one hand, there is the enviable position of a high-ranking official's wife, and on the other hand, there is the embarrassing torture that cannot be told to outsiders. Just divorce and give up the position of director's wife? But she had worked hard to get this position, and she was unwilling to give it up. Besides, if she really got divorced, she would become a second marriage, and she would not be able to find a good family in the future. But she didn't want to continue to endure the torture of this old man. She had thought that after marrying such a young and delicate wife like her, this old man would hold her in the palm of his hand, but she didn't expect that he was such a disgusting person. Maybe in the eyes of outsiders, he doted on her very much, but only she knew that this doting was just compensation for those things. She had also thought that if the old man could no longer do what he did, she would be free. But after trying it, I realized that I was taking it for granted. For someone with a mental illness, you should never test his bottom line. Lu Ping was extremely anxious, like a trapped animal, and could not find a way out no matter how hard she tried. She happened to meet Lu Chongjing and his family shopping in the department store, and the warm and harmonious scene hurt her eyes. She is living in. Why should he be fine? So, she came over. Originally, she just wanted to disgust Lu Chongjing, but the hat that Li Yue stuffed into her hand was like the last straw that broke the camel's back, instantly breaking her tense nerves. Since she is not having a good time, let's not have a good time. Li Yue was stunned when she heard this, but she quickly reacted. Comrade, you can't say that. Your family came to us and said they wanted to meet my family. I thought your aunt was a director, so I had to give her some face, so I agreed reluctantly. But I also told her clearly that I couldn't make the decision. I had to ask the child's opinion, and the child had to agree. You can go back and ask your aunt if this is the case. When the third brother came back, I told him about it, and he immediately disagreed, saying that you have bad character, and you should never get involved with people like that. So, no one is trying to stop you. It's just that my third son doesn't like you. Even if I didn't have a wife like this now, you and I wouldn't be a family. Li Yue's voice was quite loud, and those who were watching the show nearby all looked at Lu Ping differently. Luckily, the third brother has good eyesight and knows that you are not a good person, so he didn't want to date you. Otherwise, you would have been clinging to me. You are already married, but in front of your husband, you still want to be a family with someone else. You are greedy while having your cake and eating it too. Don't you have any shame? Lu Ping's marriage to the director of the Revolutionary Committee. She guessed that the old man next to her was Lu Ping's husband. By Li Wei, Lu Ping was about to open her mouth to stab back when she was grabbed by Luo Yuan. "Shut up!" Luo Yuan shouted angrily. This woman, is she peeling off his face and stomping on it in front of his opponent? His newly married wife was a woman that Lu Changzhen looked down upon. Instinctively, he felt that he was inferior to the other person. "Why should I shut up? You're such a coward. You're always so silly, but when someone bullies your wife, you don't even dare to." Lu Ping took out her anger on Luo Yuan. She didn't care about anything else now, and just wanted to vent her anger. "No wonder you are not as good as others. Most of your money was taken away from you in just 1 month." Lu Ping's words hit Luo Yuan's sore spot. Luo Yuan's eyes were bloodshot, and he yelled, "Shut up." Lu Ping wanted to talk back, but Luo Yuan covered her mouth and dragged her out very roughly. After Lu Ping's disturbance, I naturally couldn't buy anything. Li Wei was so angry. She had brought the things to Director Lu to apologize. If she had known they were such a bunch of, it should be the Lu family who should apologize to them. Fearing that Su Mo might misunderstand, Li Wei quickly explained, "Xiao Mo, this is not the fault of the third brother. It's my fault. When I heard Lu Guangying say that her niece was in the art troupe, I thought she was a good girl. I didn't expect her to be such a... It wasn't finalized at the time. We just said that if the child agreed, we could go and see each other. The third child has a very sharp eye. He would definitely not like a girl like her. You are the only one who can make the third brother take notice." That day, when he just came back from the hospital, he told me that he wanted to marry you and asked me to prepare quickly. Fearing that Lu Ping's words would affect the couple's relationship. Seeing Li Yue so anxious, Su Mo waved her hands and said, "It's okay, Mom. He told me about this before we started dating. I know about it." She asked why Lu Guangying was hostile to her, and it turned out that Lu Changzheng's previous blind date was her niece. Li Yue finally breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the third brother had said this before, otherwise it would be bad if Xiaoma misunderstood that the third brother had problems with his behavior. After this commotion, the group was no longer in the mood to go shopping in the department store, so they went to the state-owned hotel for lunch. 5 people ate for 6 yuan. Lu Boming paid for it, saying that he was in a good mood today, and he had to pay for it. After dinner, we went to the farmer's market. The 3 elders were very excited when they saw the abundant meat, vegetables, and other foods in the market. They had all survived hard times, and seeing so much food made them feel extremely satisfied. Because of the Chinese New Year, the agricultural and sideline products market specially transferred a batch of vegetables from other places. Although there were few green leafy vegetables, there were still quite a few vegetables that were easy to transport, such as beans, eggplants, squash, cucumbers, and green peppers. Although the price is higher than usual, there are still many people buying it during the New Year. Li Yue bought 2 kilograms of pickled mustard tuber and 2 kilograms of kelp as souvenirs and shared them with everyone after returning home. Lu Boming also bought a few pounds of dried shrimps and prepared to take them back to share with everyone. In the afternoon, the few of them picked up Gung Chongqing, filled up the car with gas, and then went home. After all, it's already good enough to be able to borrow the car, and we can't let the government pay for the gas. Shuangshan City only has 1 gas station in the urban area. To refuel at this time, you also need a gasoline ticket. The price of number 70 gasoline is 1.1 cents per liter, and I filled up 30 liters. Gasoline tickets, more than 2 hours of driving. It was already dark when they got back. Before getting off the bus, Li Wei gave Su Mo a portion of the things she bought. Gung Chongqing also came along, preparing to go to the cowshed early tomorrow morning. Thinking of taking some to the cowshed tomorrow, Su Mo prepared dinner. She stewed mutton soup, pork ribs stewed with sauerkraut and vermicelli, and the staple food was a circle of corn cakes. After dinner, Su Mo took a ruler and prepared to measure Gung Chongqing's size. Gung Chongqing learned that Su Mo wanted to knit a sweater for him. He cooperated very well and measured the pieces, which made Lu Chongqing's mouth twitch. After dinner, the 3 of them went to bed early. At around 4 o'clock in the morning of the next day, Lu Chongqing drove the car and set off with the 2 of them. During this period, whenever Lu Chongqing came back, He would usually leave at this time, so there was nothing suspicious about it. Newly opened road into the mining area has a section not far from the cowshed, and there is a small road nearby that can lead down. Whenever Lu Chongjing delivered things, he would park the car nearby early in the morning and go down from there. At his speed, it would only take a few minutes to go down there and less than 15 minutes for a round trip. Parking the car, Lu Chongjing took the two of them down a shortcut. In just 10 minutes, they arrived at the cowshed. Geng Chongqing came this time mainly to discuss something with Zhang Zhen and Su Tingqian. The three of them went to Zhang Zhen's room to discuss something, and Comrade Xiaoding came out to Su Tingqian and the other's room. Maybe because he had been eating better during this period, Comrade Xiaoding was in much better condition than when Su Mo first met him. Xiaoding was very grateful to Su Mo's family. Fortunately, they had their help, otherwise their days in the cowshed would have been difficult. After Mo Yurong put her things in place, she began to care about Su Mo's pregnancy. She had already learned from Lu Chongjing that her daughter was pregnant with twins. Mo Yurong was finally relieved after learning that Su Mo had no adverse reactions and was able to eat and sleep well. She was pregnant with Momo. She vomited for several months. Fortunately, Momo did not follow her. Otherwise, she would have been pregnant with 2 children and her life would have been very difficult. Child, your mother told you not to come during your pregnancy. Why didn't you listen? Although she also missed her daughter, nothing was more important than her safety. Mom, today is the 2nd day of the Chinese New Year, the day to go back to my parents' home. Su Mo said, the road is open now. Chongjing can drive here, and it will only take me 10 minutes to walk here. Mo Yurong was moved to tears by Su Mo's words. What kind of home is this? She didn't know when they could leave here. While there was still time, Mo Yurong reminded her of some precautions regarding pregnancy. After Geng Chongqing and the others finished their discussion, they left in a hurry. Lu Chongqing really had to go back to the camp today to take a look, so he continued to drive inside, and Su Mo and Geng Chongqing followed him. When they arrived at the camp, Lu Chongqing parked the car at the entrance and went in. Su Mo and Geng Chongqing waited in the car. Xiaoma, don't worry, it will be soon, 2 years at most. Geng Chongqing spoke during the waiting period. Any news from Uncle? Su Mo was excited. Well, following the Gong family's lead, I found out a little bit. Once the higher-ups get involved, I think things will turn around soon. Although we can't move those people for the time being, we can still let your parents and Zhang Lao return to the city. My eldest brother meant that we should send them directly to Yangcheng instead of returning to Haisher. They have already established contact with the Southern Marshal, so it should be no problem to protect a few people in Yangcheng. In addition, the Su family has its own businesses in Yangcheng, so it would not be as if they were left with nothing when they got there.
Shumonari.
Guangzhou was also good. It was a pioneer in reform and opening up. In a few years, it would be the first to get the upper hand. Lu Chongjing just came over to take a look today. In less than an hour, he had finished his work and came out again. Today, so he has to go and wind up Yang Jingming. Several people went back home first. Geng Chongqing had other things to do, so he didn't stay here any longer and rode his bike back to the county. The couple rested for a while and were about to go to Lu's place when Lu Xiaolan and Yang Jingming came over carrying large and small bags of things. The corner of Su Mo's mouth twitched.
He brought so many things.
Could he be asking for something again? But traditional kung fu still needs to be performed. Jingming, Xiaolan, come in and sit down. Why are you carrying so many things? Su Mo welcomed them to the Kong in the West Room, brought them some snacks to eat first, and asked Lu Chongjing to make some brown sugar water. Lu Xiaolan waved her hands quickly. Third brother and sister-in-law. Don't worry, we'll be there in a while. This thing was brought to my third brother by my father-in-law and mother-in-law. Lu Xiaolan felt very uncomfortable. Her eldest and second brothers had nothing, but her third brother took a bunch of things. It was so obvious, and no one was a fool. She was so scared that she didn't even dare to go home, so she went to her third brother's place first to deliver the things. Seeing that there were cigarettes and alcohol, Lu Chongjing was afraid that there was not enough for his parents, so he said calmly, I don't need these things, take them to my parents. Third brother, this was given to you by my parents. Yang Jingming didn't particularly agree. Seeing Yang Jingming like this, Lu Changjing's fist was about to move, and anger rose in his heart, but thinking that it was New Year's Day, he suppressed it. I accept your kindness, but I don't need the cigarettes and alcohol, so just take them to my parents. Lu Changjing doesn't smoke or drink, but Lu Qinggan does smoke and occasionally drinks. Seeing that Lu Changjing insisted, Yang Jingming had no choice but to take 2 packs of cigarettes and 2 bottles of wine and go to Lu's house with Lu Xiaolan first. After the two left, Lu Changjing sighed. At the beginning, I don't know who introduced this family to Xiaolan, and I don't even know their personalities. The way this family eats is really anxious and ugly. The father is greedy, the mother is calculating, and the son is weak and unpromising. Xiaolan married into their family, it was really. Suemo looked at the remaining things. There was a pack of milk powder, 2 cans of yellow peaches, a piece of bacon, and a large pack of cakes, probably about 2 kilograms. Adding the cigarettes and alcohol that were just taken away, the things that were given were really a lot. How should I return the gift? Suemo asked. Lu Changjing waved his hand. Never mind, no need to reply. Jingming's father works at the commune's grain station, and these were probably given to him by others. Grain stations have always been lucrative jobs since ancient times.
Today,
it is not known whether Lu Weiguo will go there or not. Worried that there would be only 3 elderly people left at home, Suemo put her things away, and the couple went over. After Yang Jingming and Lu Xiaolan arrived at the Lu family, Lu Qingyan was delighted to see that her brother-in-law had brought a lot of things, including cigarettes and alcohol. It seems that this son-in-law is a good guy, buying so many cigarettes and alcohol to honor him. Lu Xiaolan got married at the beginning of the year, and it was her first time going back to her parents' home, so she had no reference from previous years. After they chatted for a while in the main room, Lu Xiaolan went to the kitchen to help Li Yue. Mom, have my second brother and his wife also returned to their parents' home? Lu Xiaolan asked. If she hadn't gone back to her parents' home, she should have come out when she came back, but she only saw the 2 brothers Lu Guodong and Lu Guoyang. Yes, they said that Lu Fubao is the only one at home, and the other sisters may not come. They live nearby, so they have to go back at least.
Li Wei said.
That Lu Fubao, although he looks a bit weak, is not that bad. Judging from what I've seen these days, he should be able to stand up. I thought he was going to cling to your second brother, but he is really impressive. It is true that good shoots come out of bad bamboo. I just hope that Zhao Jiexiang will not let it go back, otherwise it will go crooked again. Why do I think you look thinner? Is your mother-in-law bullying you again? No, she is treating me very well now, almost like a worshipper. Lu Xiaolan said with some sarcasm. But seeing what kind of family this was, she was in agony. She couldn't eat well, couldn't sleep well, and only then did she lose some weight. After Suemo went over, she went to the kitchen to help Li Yue, while Lu Changjing went to the main room to chat with her and also beat Yang Jingming. Lu Xiaolan brought back 2 pounds of fresh meat. Li Yue chopped some for dumplings and used the rest to make braised pork. There was still some mutton from the New Year pig slaughter, and the mutton soup was cooked early in the morning. I also made some pickled cabbage and stewed big bones, and went to Sumo's house to pick some fresh vegetables and stir-fried 2 plates, and steamed 2 large pots of white rice. It's also a very good meal to entertain my daughter and son-in-law. After lunch, Yang Jingming made the excuse that his sister and brother-in-law had returned home, and he went back to entertain them, and then he quickly slipped away. It was really because the look in his third uncle's eyes looked like a knife, and he really couldn't bear it. Lu Xiaolan said she wanted to stay at her mother's house for one night, and did not go back with them. In fact, Lu Changjing had other things to do in the army, so he came back on purpose at noon. When he saw that everyone had left, he also went back to the army. Lu Xingjuan and Lu Weiguo were also thinking about the new son-in-law coming this year, so they had dinner at Yu's house and hurried back, only to find that their brother-in-law had left earlier than them. Dad, why did Jingming leave so early? Lu Weiguo was a little puzzled because he came back immediately after dinner. Did they have a fight? He said his sister and brother-in-law are back, so go back and entertain them. Lu Qingyan's tone was not too good either. The first year this new son-in-law came back to his parents' home, he ate lunch and left in a hurry. If you didn't know, You would have thought that they didn't treat him well enough. Where's your wife? Why hasn't she come back yet? Oh, her fourth sister and her husband are back too. They are chatting there. They said they would be back soon. I didn't expect Jingming to be back so early. What do you think of your brother-in-law? Can he stand up? Lu Qing'an is the party secretary, so he has to care about the members of the brigade.
He looks okay.
He can cook and clean the house. He said that after the Chinese New Year, he will sign up to work on the road. Lu Weigua had never expected Lu Fubao's change, so he still had to study. No matter how bad a person who had been to school was, he was not that bad. Lu Qing'an nodded. He was naturally happy that the team had one more progressive young man. If he wants to stand up, you two should help him more. The help Lu Qing'an mentioned meant to keep an eye on him. There were still some second-rate people in the team, and Lu Fubao, with his background, would definitely be bullied. With Lu Weigua watching over them, they didn't dare to do anything too much. Lu Weigua nodded, Dad, I know. In the afternoon, Lu Xiaolan and Li Wei went to Sumo's place together. The three of them sat on the Kong, eating snacks and chatting. Li Wei always felt that Lu Xiaolan seemed to be full of worries, and she was a little worried. My daughter, are you hiding something from me? Lu Xiaolan hesitated to speak, but finally said, Mom, if I want a divorce, will you support me? Li Wei was nearly choked to death by the chestnuts she had just imported. Su Emo patted her for a long time before she finally calmed down.
Why?
What did that old hag do to you? Mom will tear her to pieces right now, Li Wei said as she was about to get off the Kong. Lu Xiaolan grabbed him and said, Mom, no, she has been very nice to me recently. I wanted to divorce myself.
Why?
Did Jingming let you down? Not really, Lu Xiaolan said, and started crying. This frightened Li Wei, and she quickly hugged Lu Xiaolan to comfort her. Don't cry. Tell me if you've been wronged. If I can't help, you still have your third brother and his wife. Lu Xiaolan calmed down and said, Mom, that family is not a good one. Lu Xiaolan told the two about the change in her in-law's attitude after Lu Chongzheng helped Yang Jingming, as well as her in-law's attitude after the incident at her eldest sister-in-law's home. Mom, you said they are so selfish and cold-hearted. Now that they think that my third brother can help them, they praise me. If one day my third brother can't help them, I'm afraid they will turn hostile immediately. After listening to this, Li Wei fell silent. After a long while, he said, My daughter, marriage is not a joke. No one is good in every aspect. As long as the major aspects are not bad, then life can go on. Of Li Yui's generation, divorce would not be easy unless life really could not go on. The other party has done nothing wrong now. Although he has made some calculations, he has not done anything wrong. Li Wei does not agree with the divorce just like this. Mom, I'm afraid they will implicate my third brother in the future, Lu Xiaolan said. Li Wei waved her hands. Your third brother is not a fool. How could he be implicated so easily? They are treating you well now, so just live your life steadily. With your third brother around, they won't dare to do anything to you. Lu Xiaolan was silent. At first, my parents didn't particularly agree, but you are the one who decided to get married. It's been less than a year, and you're saying you want a divorce. How can you be so frivolous? Just live your life first, and then come back when you feel you can't go on. Life is a time for confusion, so don't take everything too clearly, Li Wei said. She didn't particularly agree. Now that she had seen the true colors of this family, she might as well make a decisive decision and get a divorce. But I can't leave now. I have to find a suitable excuse. Otherwise, if someone treats you well now and you suddenly want a divorce, then they can make up any excuse, and it will damage Lu Xiaolan's reputation. Maybe by then, they will have to throw dirty water on Lu Chongzheng, saying that Lu Xiaolan looks down on them because her brother got promoted, and label her as a snob. Lu Xiaolan replied bitterly, okay. It was her fault for being blind in the beginning. Su Emo didn't say anything. Since no one asked her, she couldn't express her opinion. What's more, her opinion was the opposite of her mother-in-law's. At night, Lu Xiaolan slept next to Su Emo. Because she had something on her mind, she tossed and turned and couldn't fall asleep. After a long time, Lu Xiaolan asked. Third sister-in-law, are you asleep?
No.
Su Mo replied. If you were me, what would you do? I should choose divorce like you, but not now. Seeing that Su Mo thought the same as she did, Lu Xiaolan felt relieved. Xiaolan, have you considered what will happen after divorce? You have to imagine the worst-case scenario and see if you can bear it. Su Mo was also worried that Lu Xiaolan just wanted a divorce on impulse and would regret it later, so she had to explain things to her. I've thought about it, but I can tolerate some criticism. I'm just worried that it will affect my family, my father's work, and my niece's marriage. Having a divorced daughter, it's probably too shameful for the father to be the party secretary. Have you thought of a reason for divorce? Su Mo asked again. Lu Xiaolan shook her head. I haven't thought about it yet. I just have this idea. Since my mother doesn't agree, I won't think about it anymore. Mom is right. Don't be so clear about everything. Be a little confused and maybe you can live a good life. Lu Xiaolan said bitterly. But from now on, third brother and sister-in-law may have to endure more and put up with their rude faces. You don't have to help them if they ask for anything. Greed is insatiable. If you help them once, they will come back next time. You don't have to worry about me. I figured it out. I won't let myself down. If they dare to do anything to me, I'm not someone you can mess with. Su Mo didn't know what to say for a moment. After all, this was her first time experiencing marriage. This time is not like later times, where you can still divorce on the grounds of a breakdown in the relationship between husband and wife, or just live apart for 2 years and then sue. At this time, if there is no suitable reason, the man will continue to disagree and drag you on for 10 or 8 years. At that time, things will be even worse. Although she suspected that Yang Jingming had azoospermia, the medical conditions at the time made it impossible to detect it, and it seemed impossible to divorce on this ground. According to the calculations of the Yang family, they would not easily let Xiaolan divorce before she found a new backer. If she wanted to divorce, she would have to bleed a lot. So, we still have to wait until we find a reason to get out of this situation. Xiaolan, if you feel miserable staying in that house, you can come back to your parents' house more often. When your third brother comes back, I will talk to him and see if he has any solution. This was all Su Mo could say. Thank you, third sister-in-law. Lu Xiaolan was grateful in her heart. When her mother didn't understand her, third sister-in-law was the only one who could help her. Third sister-in-law, I have to pay 15 yuan to his family every month with my current salary. I don't want to pay so much now. What do you think I should do?
So Montag was Stund. She almost forgot about this.
They had separated, so they managed their own money. For someone like Lu Xiaolan, whose mother-in-law was in charge, she had to pay. Your previous dowry was not given to your mother-in-law, was it? Su Mo recalled that when the family was divided, Lu Qing'an said that he would not only give the betrothal gifts to Lu Xiaolan, but also give her 100 yuan as a dowry. No, I've got the money. I thought I would pay 10 yuan a month at most, just enough for food expenses. I work at the supply and marketing cooperative, and my mother-in-law still asks me to bring some things from time to time, but she never pays me. This made Su Mo feel troubled. It seemed that this was the trend of the time. Those who earned money had to pay tuition to public schools, unless their parents told them not to pay. Why don't you buy some milk powder or something to drink, saying that you need to take care of your body? Since you don't have enough money, you can pay less? Lu Xiaolan couldn't think of a good solution for a moment, so she said, I'll try. Lu Xiaolan. Li Wei was also unable to sleep. Seeing her tossing and turning, Lu Qing'an asked, What's wrong? Li Wei thought about it and said, It's okay. If this old man knew that his daughter wanted a divorce, he would probably get anxious too. Are you walking around here and there? Are you treating him like a fool? He doesn't look like everything is fine. I told you it's okay.
Li Wei yelled.
Lu Qing'an was startled and instantly became silent, like a quail. He shouldn't have asked. Lu Qing'an turned over, out of sight, out of mind, and continued to sleep. Early in the morning on the third day of the Chinese New Year, Lu Xiaolan went back to the commune to work after breakfast, while Su Mo stayed at home and started knitting a sweater for Geng Chongqing. At noon, Ma Xiaowan came to visit as expected and told Su Mo some things about the Educated Youth Center. For example, Lin Xia went home for a successful blind date and wrote a letter back. When spring comes, she will come back to get married in the city. For example, there was a male educated youth in the same batch as them whose elder in the family turned out to be a high-ranking official. This made Ma Xiaowan sigh, saying that the educated youth site was really amazing. The 3-day holiday passed quickly, and it was back to work in the blink of an eye. On the 4th day of the new year, the young men from various teams who had signed up to build roads also started to work on the roads. People of this generation are really enthusiastic about their work. Early every morning, you can see young men carrying tools to work. Su Mo records the growth data of vegetables every day and conducts her research. At the end of February, 2 important news items were published in the newspapers, indicating that the relationship between China and a certain country began to move from confrontation to normalization. Who work in the news industry are all shrewd people. They immediately sensed something was wrong, and Haisher newspaper office was even more active. A week later, they began serializing a translated novel from country M in a remote area to test the waters. Su Mo also wrote a letter to the editor of Haisher newspaper in March, saying that if translation was needed, she could help with it. The editor did not disappoint her and sent her 2 novellas for translation. Su Mo spent 2 days translating and polishing them very well and sent them back. Half a month later, she received the translated manuscript of a novel and a remittance slip for 30 yuan. That novel became extremely famous in later generations. Su Mo had read it several times, so the translation was particularly smooth for her. The editor first sent her about 1/5 of the content, and the original manuscript was about 200,000 words. Su Mo basically translated it whenever she had time, and in more than half a month, she finished translating the manuscript and sent it back. By the time Su Mo finished translating the novel, it was already mid-April. The ground had begun to thaw, and it was time to prepare for spring plowing. The brigade also distributed tractors, and the tractor driver was the youngest son of the brigade leader Lu Baogua. The young man was only 18 years old, smart and quick-witted. After 3 months of learning, he was proficient in basic operations. When Su Mo went to work, she found that he had already started turning the soil in the field with a thump-thump-thump sound on his tractor. Spring plowing was about to begin, so the task of sending Su Mo to work was replaced by Lu Boming from Liyue. After the canal was put into use last year, the brigade planted a lot of rice, and the yield was very good. The leaders of the Agricultural Science Institute also suggested that they plant more rice. After discussion, the brigade cadres decided to continue to increase the rice planting area this year. Planting rice is much more troublesome than planting wheat. After turning the land, you need to add water to soften it, and then harrow it again. The seeds had to be germinated and raised first, and then when the seedlings were almost grown, they were planted in the fields. It took a whole day to plant the seedlings, and I could hardly stand up straight. Spring plowing had begun, and Su Mo's winter greenhouse vegetable growing experiment had also come to an end. She wrote a summary report and submitted it to Fu Ming. She also set up a new cultivation project and requested a piece of land each in Lujia Village Brigade and Lijiao. Fu Ming looked at the report submitted by Su Mo, which recorded the daily growth data in detail, listed the various problems encountered and solutions, and finally, made an economic benefit assessment. Su Mo was researching the vegetables grown in the greenhouse. She had previously talked to the director of the commune canteen about selling the vegetables to them, and she had also reported this matter to Fu Ming. In winter, this kind of green leafy vegetable can be sold for more than 1 cent per pound. Since they are from the same commune, and the main purpose of planting is not to make a profit, they are settled at 1 cent per pound. Then 2 months, the leeks were harvested twice, and the rapeseed was harvested once. The leeks were planted a lot, with more than 200 kilograms of leeks and nearly 100 kilograms of rapeseed, with a total income of 31.2 yuan. The commune approved 30 yuan for Su Mo's research this time. Now not only has the money been earned back, but an extra 1.2 yuan has been given. Fu Ming looked at Su Mo with admiration. As expected of Secretary Gung's niece, her abilities should not be underestimated. Therefore, Sumo's new training project was approved with a wave of her hand. Comrade Su, you can compile a copy of this report and submit it to the County Agricultural Department and give me a copy as well. We'll bring it over and circulate it to everyone as a model. Considering Comrade Su's ability, a rating of 28 is too low, and he has to apply for another level increase. The next day, Su Mo took the commune's approval note and went to Lijiao to find the production team leader there. Li wanted to approve a good piece of land directly, but Su Mo insisted on not affecting normal farming. Su Mo walked around and chose a piece of land closest to the cowshed among the private plots reserved in Lijiao. Li looked at Sumo's big belly and frowned. Researcher Su, do you want to change another one? Their Lijiao is already on the mountain, and this piece of land is at the top. If they crawl around with a big belly and accidentally slip, who will take the responsibility? Su Mo waved her hand. Captain Li, it's okay. The soil of this piece of land is more suitable. Let's go here. I will use some cow dung or something like that, which will be more convenient. Seeing Su Mo's insistence, Captain Li had no choice but to give up. Then I'll arrange for someone to help you turn the land over. This piece of land is not big, less than 1 mu of land. I can find a young man to turn it over in half a day. Thank you, Captain Li. By the way, after my experimental crops grow up, can I ask the people there to help me take care of them so that they won't be accidentally destroyed by animals from the mountains? Su Mo pointed to the cowshed. From the cowshed, you can see the land at a glance. Li hesitated for a moment and originally wanted to ask other members to come up to see it, but if others wanted to see it, they would have to come up specially, so it would be most appropriate to ask the people in the cowshed to help. Okay, I'll tell them after you plant them. Su Mo thanked him and went back to the Lujia village brigade to ask for a piece of land. Based on the same principle, the land she asked for was also at the foot of the mountain, not far from the brigade's sheepfold and cowshed. Lu Baogua also arranged people to turn the soil for Su Mo. In principle, they could have ignored the translation, but Su Mo was pregnant and they were from the same team, so Lu Baogua made the arrangements. However, Su Mo was not planning to take advantage of others. She applied for funds for tilling the land, 30 cents per plot, and would give it to others when the time came. The family's private plot would be dug up by Lu Chongzheng when he returned. Su Mo also asked him to find apple and pear tree seedlings and plant one in the corner of the yard. She now has a second-level supernatural power, and with the help of land, it is not impossible for her to get up in the middle of the night to induce labor when the baby is almost grown. Su Mo spent 2 days preparing the 2 experimental plots and asked someone to build wooden fences. Then she went back to the commune and got the latest seeds from the agricultural officer. All the cultivation and grafting techniques of later generations in books, and now she just needed to put them into practice. She also planned to divide them into several types. One was to directly use seeds from future generations, and the other was to use current seeds. She would use her supernatural powers to nurture them, and then use the cultivation technology of future generations to plant them. She plans to start with vegetables, which have a shorter growth cycle and produce quicker results, and then gradually develop into major crops. The brigades were busy with spring plowing, gold mining also began, and Lu Chongzheng was also very busy. After the snow melted, relevant experts resurveyed the content of the mineral deposit. It is conservatively estimated that the gold resource reserves of the vein are nearly 70 tons, which ranks among the top 5 existing gold mines. Naturally, national leaders attach great importance to it and have transferred various resources to allow it to be mined at the fastest speed. Every day. Before, the members were surprised to see the vehicles, but now they are used to it. Those who have children are advised to avoid playing on the main roads to avoid being hit by cars. When Su Tingqian and Mo Yurong found Su Mo wielding a and planting vegetables under the cowshed, their eyes almost popped out of their heads. But it was broad daylight and there were other outsiders around, so they didn't dare to recognize him and just looked at him a few more times. On the other hand, greeted them very naturally. Hello everyone, I am Su Mo, an agricultural researcher at the commune. This is my experimental plot for growing vegetables. At night, Please help look after it occasionally to prevent any animals from coming down from the mountain and destroying the crops. Okay. Several people nodded in response, then followed the cattle herding members back to the cowshed. Su Emo stayed here until noon on purpose, just to see her parents. It was the first time for Su Tingqian and Emo Yurong to go to the fields. When they arrived last year, the autumn harvest had already been completed. After just a while of not seeing each other, everyone has lost a lot of weight. The weight they had gained in the winter was gone again. The people in the cowshed do the hardest work and are sent to turn the hardest ground. All day, not only could I not lift my hands, but they were also covered with blisters. When the blisters burst, my palms were rubbed and bleeding. Su Emo continued to plant the rest of the land in her experimental garden. After the members who drove the cattle left, Su Emo carried the basket on her back and went to the cowshed. Spring planting is no easier than autumn harvesting, and she still has to keep up with the food. In the backpack is a piece of wild boar meat that she just took out from the space. As soon as they arrived at the entrance of the cowshed, Su Emo deliberately spoke loudly to ask them to help keep an eye on the experimental site so that if anyone saw them, they would not suspect anything. Su Tiqian and Emo Yurong were washing their hands carefully at the door of the room. When they heard Sumo's voice, it was too late to wrap the cloth around their hands again. When Su Emo saw the bloody hands of the two men, tears came to her eyes. Su Tingqian saw his daughter crying and quickly waved his hands. It's like this the first time you do farm work. Your mother and I are inexperienced and forgot to wrap the cloth around it. Wait a few days and the calluses will form and it will be fine. Emo Yurong also said, it just looks a little scary but it doesn't hurt that much. Su Emo quickly wiped her tears and took out the meat from the backpack. Mom and Dad, you can cook this meat for lunch. I will bring you some medicine tomorrow. I will come here every 1 or 2 days. If you need anything, just tell me. Emo Yurong looked at Sumo's belly and said worriedly, Xiao Emo, your belly is so big. Why are you still doing this research? Logically, she should take a rest. Su Emo waved her hands. It's okay. The doctor said that I need to move more so that I can have a better baby in the future. I'm taking care of myself. Don't worry. Because of her special powers, she has a deep connection with the children and can always tell whether they are doing well or not. I won't stay any longer. You guys hurry up and make lunch. Su Emo left after saying this. Normally, she would only need to say a few words to explain things, so it would not be good to stay too long. The nature of her work, spring planting had begun, and Sumo spent more time in the experimental field. She no longer had to go to the office every day and could go back once or twice a week. Even other office-based cadres had to go to the countryside at this time, participate in labor as appropriate, check the farming progress of each team, coordinate the use of agricultural machinery, and guide production. On May 1st, Monday, Su Emo arrived at the office early. There was a regular meeting on Monday, and everyone had to come unless there were special circumstances. The meeting, Fu Ming praised Su Emo right at the beginning, saying that her research on greenhouse vegetable cultivation had been recognized by the Ministry of Agriculture, and that her research report was written in a very rigorous and standardized manner, which had won unanimous praise from leaders of various counties. After research and decision by the County Party Committee, Su Emo was promoted 1 level, from level 28 to level 27, and her salary was also increased from 27.5 yuan to 30 yuan, and other welfare benefits were also increased as appropriate. Su Emo was very happy. She was promoted to a higher level after working for only 4 months, which showed that she was doing a good job. She estimated that once she finished the new variety breeding project, she could launch a few new varieties that were easy to survive and had high yields, and maybe she could upgrade to another level. Lunch. Su Emo specially ordered 2 meat dishes to celebrate herself. While eating, Su Emo saw several female employees from the post office looking at her from time to time with strange eyes. Su Emo thought that her clothes were not worn properly or something, so she checked but didn't find anything wrong. She asked the people next to her, but they didn't say there was something on their face. After dinner, Su Emo went over and asked, Comrade Su, there is a large remittance slip for you at the post office. Please go and pick it up later. A female comrade cleared up Sumo's confusion. The commune was so small that even if everyone had never spoken to each other, they all knew each other. Sumo is also a little famous in the post office because she often receives letters and remittance slips. They also know that Sumo contributes articles to the newspaper. I didn't expect the newspaper would send me so much money this time, and I don't know what it said. Sumo guessed that it was the payment for the translation. She estimated that it was probably only 1 or 200 yuan, but it was indeed a large amount of remittance. When Sumo went to the post office and saw the remittance slip, she was shocked. It's actually 745 yuan. No wonder others looked at her strangely. In the commune, this amount was 2 or 3 years' salary for others. It turns out that in novels, it's true that the heroines make money by translating. Along with the remittance slip came a letter. Sumo quickly received the remittance and took the letter back to the office to read. It turned out that after reading Sumo's translation, the editors of the newspaper unanimously agreed that her translation was excellent and finally gave her an extremely high translation fee of 4 yuan per 1,000 words. Sumo couldn't help but sigh that Haisher newspaper was truly a conscientious newspaper and didn't deduct any of her translation fees. However, whether to continue translating depends on the response after publication. If the response is good, the editor will send the rest of the manuscript to Sumo for translation. In the afternoon, the news that Sumo received so much royalties spread. Even Lu Xiaolan, when she was not busy, secretly came to the office to ask Sumo third sister-in-law, "Did you really receive more than 700 yuan in royalties?" Sumo nodded. "It's not royalties, it's translation fees. I helped the newspaper translate some books." "Third sister-in-law, you are amazing," Lu Xiaolan praised. This was more than 2 years' salary for her. She used to think that studying was useless, but now it seems that it is still very useful. Now the opportunity has come, and she can make a lot of money in no time. Now, she wants to pick up the book and read it again. "Third sister-in-law, are all translators paid this much?" "Not really, it's mainly because there are too few people in our country who know how to translate, so this is a little higher,"
Sumo said.
During this period of time, Lu Xiaolan seemed to be cheerful again, not knowing whether she had figured it out or had a plan in mind. "So, has your mother-in-law agreed with you to pay less money?" Sumo asked. "She didn't agree at first, but when she saw me asking her son for money, she agreed," Lu Xiaolan said. She completely understood that people should be nicer to themselves. She has bought herself a lot of things in the past 2 months, and she is in a really good mood. Eat when you should, spend when you should. Why save money? When Lu Xiaolan was about to leave, Sumo asked her to save a few pounds of cake so that she could take it back and share it with the Lu family. She received so much royalties had spread throughout the commune, and it was estimated that the Lujia village brigade would know about it soon. So they would buy some food in advance and share it among everyone. When they had time, they would buy some meat and take it to the elders for a meal together. In the afternoon, each team came together to discuss and report on production progress, and the cadres of each team were still arguing fiercely over tractors. 12 strong men could not turn over as much land as a tractor in a day. So, if the tractor stayed in the team for one more day, it would save a lot of trouble. Other teams were fighting. Lu Qing'an and Lu Baoguo were watching from the sidelines. It's good that this brigade has a tractor. In previous years, they were also among those who argued fiercely. In the evening, when the Yang family was having dinner, Yang Jingming mentioned that Sumo had been promoted to a higher level. Fang Chunfang added, "You see, this is the benefit of having someone above you. She has only been working for 4 months, and she has already been promoted to the next level. I think she will probably be promoted to the next level by the end of the year. Her son has been working for several years, but has only been promoted 3 times in total." Lu Xiaolan immediately retorted, "This is also because my third sister-in-law has achieved results. She did a research without spending a penny, but she made money. Didn't Jingming just say that the report she wrote was praised by the leaders of a whole county?" Fang Chunfang curled her lips. "This county party secretary is already a big shot. If he says it's good, how dare others say it's bad? The county party secretary is not the only one who has the final say. Secretary Gung is a good official who is honest and upright. He would not abuse his power for personal gain. Fang Chunfang was choked by Lu Xiaolan's words, but she didn't dare to say anything bad about Gung Chongqing. After all, whether her son could be promoted in the future depended on him. However, the daughter-in-law seems to be possessed by evil spirits recently and increasingly ignores her mother-in-law. Could it be that she feels more confident now that she has the support of her mother's family? That night, money-loving Su Imo started to count her accounts again. She calculated that she had more than 6,900 yuan in cash. It's only May 1st now, and April's salary hasn't been paid yet. Once both of them get paid, it will be enough for 7,000 yuan. If I can continue to do translation, I will probably become a millionaire soon. However, Su Imo felt that it would not be that easy. Although the atmosphere was somewhat relaxed now, the overall environment was still not very good. It would probably take another 2 years for it to be more relaxed. Sure enough, in mid-May, Su Imo received another letter and translation manuscript from the editor. The letter said that the novel would not be translated for the time being and asked Su Imo to translate other works first. Su Imo took a look and found that they were 2 academic research papers on production industrialization. Su Imo thinks that publishing this is a good idea, as it will allow Chinese people to better understand the current state of foreign industries, see the gap between the two sides clearly, and perhaps provide some impetus to our industry. That day, after Su Imo finished working on the experimental field, she went to the brigade headquarters to check last month's electricity bill and prepared to pay it. At the beginning of April, the electricity meters applied for by the power supply station came down, and they came to install the meters for everyone. This was the first time that charges were based on actual usage. However, Su Imo estimated that her family's electricity would not be cheap, so when installing the electric meter, Lu Chongxing asked the people at the power supply station to install the fluorescent tubes. Moreover, she often stayed up late to translate last month, and the lights were on until 11 or 12 o'clock. Su Imo took a look at the bulletin board and found that everyone was saving electricity, basically 1 to 2 kilowatt hours, and the electricity bill was between 20 and 30 cents. Su Imo quickly found Lu Chongxing's name. He used 6 kilowatt hours of electricity, which cost 0.22 cents per kilowatt hour. The bill was 1.89 yuan, and he was given a discount of 0.2 cents. Just when Su Imo was about to pay the money, someone suddenly called her.
什么?
Your sister Su Imo, right? A girl with 2 braids walked towards Su Imo. I'm Jiang Yu. Jiang Lan is my sister. The little girl was a little excited, and she started talking quickly. Oh my God, I didn't expect to meet you here. Are you married? Your belly is so big, are you going to give birth? Su Imo dug out from the original owner's memory that there was a person named Jiang Lan, who was the original owner's high school classmate. When they were in school, she often played with the original owner and Yang Suyun. But after graduation, I started dating someone in Suzhou, but in order not to go to the countryside, I soon got married and moved to Suzhou, and we had less contact after that. Hello. Why are you here? Is your sister okay? Since she is the sister of an acquaintance, it is necessary to exchange pleasantries. I came here to work in the countryside. I just arrived yesterday. My sister is doing well. My brother-in-law was transferred to work in High City at the beginning of the year. After my sister came back, she wanted to find you, but she didn't expect. Jiang Yu suddenly stopped talking and smiled awkwardly at Su Imo. That's good. Su Imo said, I also came here to work in the countryside last year, and I'm getting married here. Jiang Yu guessed that she must have married well. Judging from her appearance, she probably didn't have to work. This is good, because she saw other educated youth coming back from the fields yesterday, covered in mud, with their backs almost unable to straighten. Tomorrow she will also start working in the fields, and she is not sure if she can adapt. I have to write a letter to my sister, telling her that I met you here and that you are fine, so that she can rest assured. Jiang Yu said, then lowered her voice, you don't know. My sister came back and found that you were in trouble. She was very worried. Su Imo's eyes flashed and she asked, what happened to Yang Suyun? You don't know. She was miserable. She got her job by cheating, and when it was discovered, she was fired by the factory. Her father got drunk and fell from the building and became paralyzed and unable to speak, so her mother sent her and her father back to their hometown. The house that the school allocated to them was also taken back. His mother now lives with her uncle. Her brother is fine, as he became the son-in-law of the director of a textile factory. Everyone is saying that it was her father who reported your father, is that right? Jiangyu asked in a low voice. There's no smoke without fire. Since everyone says so, it must be true. Su Emo said calmly. I didn't expect them to be so mean, but now it's good. They've gotten their comeuppance. I feel sorry for your family. Sigh, but you're doing fine now, so we're relieved. During those difficult years, the Jiang family also relied on the relief food provided by the Su family, and they are quite grateful to the Su family. Sister Su Mo, I'll be leaving first. I have to go to the supply and marketing cooperative with them to buy things. I have to go to the fields tomorrow. Jiangyu pointed at the few people waiting not far away. Okay, go ahead. Su Mo waved her hand. She heard that 7 more educated youths had come this year, 4 girls and 3 boys. There were already 9 people, and with these 7 new people, there were 16 people in total. It was estimated that the educated youth site would be bustling again. After hearing Jiangyu's story about the Yang family's fate, Su Mo was secretly happy, but she felt a little sorry that she didn't crush the Yang family. Yang Suang was lucky enough to have hooked up with the factory director. However, after the excitement, Su Mo felt a little worried again. She didn't know whether Jiangyu would gossip about her family's situation. She still had to think of a response strategy first. Although it wouldn't have much substantial impact on her, she would definitely be criticized for a while. She didn't know Jiangyu's background, so she wouldn't take the initiative to find her and ask her not to say anything. What if this person wasn't a good person and took the initiative to expose her weakness? What if someone used this to threaten her in the future? After Su Mo paid the electricity bill, she went home to make lunch. Now that she was in her 20s, she could eat more and more, and she had to eat 5 or 6 meals a day. On the way to the commune, a new educated youth asked Jiangyu, Jiang Jiqing, who was that person just now? Do you have any relatives here? No, that person is my sister's classmate, also an educated youth, but she got married here. Is her name Su Mo? Asked a female educated youth. She and another female educated youth slept in the same room with Zheng Kaiping, and she heard her talk about some things in the past last night. How do you know? Jiangyu was surprised. I heard from Zheng Jiqing that she is a celebrity among the educated youths. After being here for more than half a month, she married the son of the brigade secretary, who is an officer. The previous commune secretary was her uncle. A few years ago, she discovered a gold mine. When she reported it to the state, she was rewarded 500 yuan and arranged a job for herself. Her husband was promoted to head of the group and has now been transferred back to be in charge of gold mining. It is said that she is pregnant with twins. Before, her mother-in-law drove her to and from work in a donkey cart. It was really enviable. The female educated youth became more and more envious the more she spoke. Who wouldn't want such a life? What does her family do? Are her parents also cadres?
Someone asked.
Yes, her grandfather is very powerful and has been received by senior national leaders. Jiangyu did not want to say more and passed it over vaguely. Several people were shocked when they heard this, but they felt a little more balanced in their hearts. Such powerful people have come to the countryside, and they don't seem to have anything to complain about. May of 1972 was a very lively month for the 3 northern provinces, with foreign guests coming to pay friendly visits, which was a great honor for the people at that time. The Northern Daily published corresponding reports every day. From the photos published, we can see that the road was filled with people lining up to welcome the event. The welcoming formation composed of workers, farmers, government officials, and students was also dotted with singing groups, drum bands, and dance troupes. The news specifically pointed out that the welcoming procession lined up on both sides of the road from the station where they got off the train to the hotel where they were staying, and along the way, singing, cheering, and the sound of gongs and drums filled the sky. Some places even rehearsed several days in advance, striving to make the singing, dancing, and cheering reach the most perfect state. Some places even allocate funds to repair the buildings on both sides of the road, as if this is a sacred task. For people like Su Mo who came from the future, they don't quite agree with this idea, thinking it is too wasteful and costly. Su Mo originally thought that this matter would only be seen in the newspaper and had little to do with her. Unexpectedly, after hearing that a large gold mine had been discovered here, the foreign guest decided to come for a visit. This made the leaders of Shuangshan City very anxious. They immediately rushed to Qingxi County and called all the troops and cadres of the Red Flag Commune to a meeting. When Su Mo heard this, the corners of her mouth twitched. All the members of the brigade are busy planting. If they put down their work to welcome the harvest, delaying for a few days and missing the farming season, resulting in a reduction in grain production, who will take the responsibility? Originally, this matter had little to do with Su Mo herself. As a pregnant woman about to give birth, it was not her turn to go. But since her uncle was the county chief and her husband was the army chief, this matter had a lot to do with her. So, even in the corner, Su Mo listened attentively the whole time. The leaders were divided into two factions. One faction believed that the standards of other cities should be followed. The other faction believed that if they went their own way, their county's hardware conditions would not be as good as those of other big cities, no matter how hard they tried. The leaders argued endlessly, and finally the people sent by Shuangshan City and the province to assist decided together that they would not follow the standards of other cities, but must do their best based on the existing conditions. We can't lose the face of Shuangshan City. We can't lose the face of the country. After the meeting, tasks were immediately assigned. First, the road leading to the gold mine had to be leveled and paved with small gravel to make the road surface cleaner. The labor force was naturally drawn from various communes in Qingxi County, and it was compulsory labor, without work points. Su Mo thought that everyone would be unhappy about delaying the spring planting. Unexpectedly, everyone was so enthusiastic that even without work points, a lot of people signed up. Each brigade screened and sent some strong and capable young men. It was a pity for those who were not selected. This was beyond Su Mo's expectations, so she secretly asked Li Yue, "Mom, why are you all so enthusiastic? Don't you think this will affect the spring plowing?" Li Yue smiled. "Oh, we grow crops every year, but this is the first time in history that we are receiving foreign guests. This is such an honor. It shows that our place is good, so foreign guests are willing to come. After this, we can tell others that we had foreign guests come here, and we served them. It will be very impressive. Moreover, when foreign guests come, we must treat them well and let them know that our country is different now. We are no longer bullied by others, and the people are now the masters of their own country." After listening to this, Su Mo understood a little. Her vision is still stuck in the future, when the country will be strong and powerful, and its international status will be high, so there is no need to show off. But now, the people have suffered for too long, and now their lives are better than before. At least if you work hard, you will get something in return. People's feelings also need a window to display. Various communes worked enthusiastically for 2 days, all night long, and finally paved the road smoothly. The welcoming square was also being trained intensively. All the primary and secondary schools in the county suspended classes to form a student square. Each factory sent worker representatives. Each brigade selected farmer representatives, and there was also a special educated youth square, which was the army, and a group of people were also sent. After a busy period, we finally welcomed the visiting team on the 3rd day. A total of more than a dozen cars formed a convoy, followed by dozens of guards on motorcycles. The formation was quite large. Were not in the welcoming formation were not allowed to approach the road. The members could only watch from a distance, but they were also very excited, and some of the older generation even shed tears. As the only commoner who discovered the gold mine, Su Mo was selected to present flowers to the foreign guests and was taken to the mining area by Lu Chongjing early in the morning. Lu Chongjing felt very sorry for his wife who was traveling so fast while pregnant, but as a soldier, he had to obey some orders. He was ordered from above to fully cooperate with the local authorities in the reception. Fortunately, the visit went very smoothly without any mistakes. Su Emo successfully presented flowers and went to wait on the side. The foreign guest visited the mining area for a while and then went back. He stayed for less than 2 hours. Only after the people were sent away from Qingxi County. Geng Chongqing had something to discuss with Lu Chongjing, so after sending the person away, he returned to the Lujia village brigade. The two men finished their discussion. They started discussing the purpose of having people visit the gold mine during the meal, and Su Emo also overheard it. As they listened, Su Emo also interrupted, "I'm a little confused. You say, this foreign guest can't bring us any investment or introduce any technology, but the authorities still have people visit everywhere, wasting people's time and money. What's the point? The basis of relations between countries has always been interests." She really couldn't see what benefits this person could bring to our country. Geng Chongqing laughed. "How do you know he can't bring us investment? He has fled to our country to avoid disaster. What can he bring to us?"
Su Emo said.
She read the history books and felt that this man did not bring any benefits to the country in the end. Instead, our country paid a lot. Geng Chongqing was really shocked this time. "How do you know he is hiding here?" Su Emo's heart skipped a beat, and she almost got caught. She quickly said, "I read in the newspaper that he often visits other countries and stays in other countries every day. He must be unable to stay in his own country, so he ran to other countries." Geng Chongqing looked at Su Emo in surprise. He didn't expect that this girl had some political sensitivity, so he began to explain to her. "Our country's current international status is rather awkward. We are also experiencing some friction with country S. There are not many countries in the world that have established diplomatic relations with our country. We must demonstrate our attitude of being friendly and respectful to our allies. Although it won't bring us any economic benefits, it can bring political benefits and help promote our diplomatic relations with other countries." In fact, this person was also sent here by country S, but diplomatic relations cannot be explained in just a few words. The three of them chatted about this for a while, and then Geng Chongqing changed the subject. "The higher-ups have already started planning, and it will be done very quickly, within half a year at most."
"Really?" Zu Montag was excited.
Su Tingqian and Mo Yurong were really not cut out for farm work. After the entire spring planting season, they had become extremely thin. This was despite the fact that she sent them meat every few days, and they had never stopped taking nutritional supplements. No wonder in the original book, the two died within 2 years of learning that their daughter was gone. She looked at it, feeling anxious and distressed. Yes, everything has been arranged. In the next few months, that person will be transferred to the central government. Geng Chongqing said, "If God wants to destroy someone, he must first make him crazy. The higher you climb, the harder you fall.
Shumonari.
Just ask Brother Qian and sister-in-law to be patient. It will only take a few months." Lu Chongjin listened to what the two said and began to think. If his father-in-law and mother-in-law were safe and had returned to the city, should he try to transfer back to his original unit? In the logistics unit, but if there is a chance, he still prefers the combat unit. "But my wife has a job here. If she is transferred, I don't know if she would be willing to follow the army." Going to bed at night, Lu Chongjin told Su Emo his thoughts. He respected his wife's opinion, and if she didn't want to, he would stay here for a few more years. Otherwise, his wife would be too tired to take care of the 2 children alone. When the work in the mine stabilized, he would be able to go home 2 or 3 times a week. Su Emo thought for a moment and said, "My original purpose for doing this job was to see if I could get to know some big guys so that I could help the Su family when they are in trouble. If the problem can be solved, then my job doesn't necessarily have to be this position. But what I hope is that I can be transferred, not with the army. If you can be transferred, then I hope you can communicate with them and arrange a job for me." Su Emo is clear about her personality. Being in the officialdom is not her best choice. She still likes to make money. "If my parents can return to the city safely, I will find a job for the next few years. Once they are admitted to university, I will quit my job immediately and do business while studying." However, it is probably not easy for Lu Chongjing to be transferred from logistics to the front line. He still needs to have made some contributions. Su Emo suddenly remembered that a long time ago, a young lady from a military academy brought her a batch of books in exchange for food. She flipped through them at the time and found that they were all professional books on weapon systems, including the history of the development of firearms, ammunition, and artillery. Those things can only be read as history books in later generations, but at this time they are treasures. Su Imo quickly sank her consciousness into the space and started searching. Seeing that Su Imo suddenly fell silent, Lu Chongjing guessed that his wife was reluctant to leave this place. Just as he was about to ask her to wait for a few years, she suddenly took out a few books out of thin air.
Take a look at this.
Su Imo handed the book to Lu Chongjing. Lu Chongjing picked it up and flipped through a few pages. He almost jumped up. The look in Su Mo's eyes showed her happiness, excitement, gratitude, and enthusiasm. For someone like him who loves playing with guns, this kind of knowledge about gun design is simply his favorite. He was joking with Gung Chongqing. He once said that his wife was the chosen one. He felt that he was the second chosen one. Otherwise, how could he marry such a good wife? Thank you, wife. Lu Chongjing, a grown man, had tears in his eyes. As a soldier, he can feel the country's urgent determination to become stronger better than ordinary people, but many Western powers are still blockading our country, and many advanced technologies are out of our reach. We can only explore step by step on our own. The weapons we use today are imported from abroad, and there are very few that are independently developed in China. It would be great if he could learn from them and improve the situation where our weapons are controlled by others. At this moment, Lu Chongjing had no idea whether he could make any contribution. Instead, he was thinking that if he could manufacture these advanced weapons, fewer comrades would be sacrificed on the front line. Lu Chongjing had always been on the front line before and often faced enemies whose weapons were more advanced than his own. Sometimes it was really frustrating. Here, wife, can I go to the other room to take a look? Lu Chongjing was overjoyed and wanted to digest all this that night. Seeing Lu Chongjing like this, Su Imo waved her hand and said, "Go ahead." So, being honest has its benefits. Like this regarding weapons, otherwise it would be hard to explain how she, who has never touched a gun, could suddenly understand all this. But Lu Chongjing was different. He had always been on the front line and was proficient in using all kinds of weapons. The design and modification suggestions he put forward were able to stand up to scrutiny. She chose agriculture at that time. Besides her special ability, another reason was that agriculture was easy to explain. At that time, schools required students to study agriculture. It could be said that she had been interested in this area before. She has now gradually come to view this place as a parallel world, and is very happy to do anything that can make the country better. The work of each brigade in May is mainly sowing. First, rice and wheat are planted, and after these staple foods are planted, dryland crops such as corn, soybeans, and peanuts are planted, and then the field management work during the seedling stage is done. In addition to the sideline businesses of previous years, the Lujia Village Brigade has added a vegetable group for the elderly led by Lu Boming this year. The vegetables grown are mainly supplied to the troops, and these have been agreed upon with the higher-ups. Although the troops also cultivated their own vegetables, they still had to purchase them from outside, because there were so many people. The Lujia Village Brigade was close by, so the vegetables purchased from here were fresher. When Lu Boming and his friends were planting, Su Imo also went to watch, and secretly used her special powers to warm the seeds for them so that their vegetables could grow better. Those with a short production cycle are growing very well now, and will probably be ready for sale in half a month. The vegetable group are very happy that they can contribute to the team's income, which makes them feel that they are useful again. After planting the fields, the team gave everyone a day off to rest. After a month of rushing to plant the fields, everyone was exhausted. It was a rare chance to rest, and the sun was shining brightly, so the women in the village started to get busy. They took off the quilts they had used for the whole winter and washed and dried them. It happened to be the weekend, so Su Imo went to visit the Lu family. Li Yue saw Su Imo coming over. She asked, "Xiao Imo, have you taken apart and washed the quilts?" Her belly was so big, if she hadn't, she would have gone over to help. "It has been taken apart and washed,"
Su Imo said.
The last time Lu Chongjing was resting, she asked him to take apart and wash it, and also dried everything that needed to be dried while no one was around. Is it pulped?
Ah,
Sue and Mo didn't understand. After washing, the quilt needs to be starched. This way the quilt will be straight and smooth, the quilt cover will be strong, stain-resistant, not easy to get dusty, and easy to wash without getting damaged. Is there such a saying? I've never heard of it. Sue and Mo had never seen or heard of it, and was very curious. Mom will starch it in a moment, just watch. If you think it's a good idea, I'll come and help you with it. Li Yue knew that Sue and Mo had never seen it before, as it seemed that people in big cities rarely starched quilts. These starched clothes and quilt covers are very durable and not easily damaged. Okay. Sue and Mo nodded and sat next to Li Yue to chat with her. The quilt cover was about 70% dry. Li Yue started to work. First boil a pot of hot water, then add the starch and hot water into the pot to cook the paste. When it is almost done, take an enamel basin to scoop it up. The paste was not too thick. Sue and Mo thought it was slightly thicker than the dumpling soup. After putting the quilt cover on the Kong and spreading it out, Li Yue brought in the starch and rolled the quilt cover up, starching it little by little until the whole quilt cover was starched. After starching, it had to be beaten repeatedly to make the starch the fabric. Then they took it out to dry in the sun. When it was almost done, Li Yue called Lu Yuji over to help. The two of them grabbed one side of the quilt and pulled hard to make it flat. After stretching, Sue and Mo took a look at it and found it was indeed quite straight, almost like it had been ironed with an iron in later generations. It was a little cool to the touch and was indeed quite smooth. Sue and Mo also learned a lot. When she read ancient novels before, they always talked about starching and washing clothes. She thought that if you just wash clothes, you just wash them. Why do you have to use starch to wash them? It turns out that this is starch. How is it? Do you want me to help with the ones over there?
Li Yue asked.
Third brother's wife, you'd better starch it. When your child is born, the bedding will get dirty very quickly. It will be easier to wash after starching. Lu Yuji said with a smile. Lu Xingjuan passed the exam to work at a credit station last month. A person who can receive a salary is a big customer for her family. The more deposits she attracts, the higher her husband's year-end bonus will be. After his mind was opened, the relationship between the first and second wives also eased a lot. Lu Weigua also saved 100 yuan to support his eldest brother. Sumo also saved 500 yuan to support Dafeng's work. When she leaves in the future, she can withdraw all the money. Suemo found it very novel and thought it would be okay to try it out. If she was not used to covering it with it, she could just wash it off. Thank you for your hard work, mother. It's not that hard. Li Yue happily went over to help Suemo. While the paste was being cooked, Lu Chongzheng came back. Seeing his mother cooking the paste, he asked what she was going to do with it. When he heard that she was going to make a quilt, he quickly objected. Wife, don't starch it. The quilt will be too stiff after starching. Not only will it be cold when you cover yourself with it, but it won't cover you tightly either. In the summer, but it's really drafty in the winter. I finally got the quilt soft, but it's time to take it apart and wash it in the summer. Li Wei was so angry that she raised a spoon and wanted to hit Lu Chongzheng with a hammer. Starched quilt covers are more durable and resistant to dirt. Otherwise, if you wash them every 2 or 3 days, the quilt covers will be ruined. This wasteful thing, cloth coupons are so hard to come by these days. If it's broken, just sew it up. If you starch it like this, the blanket won't be breathable in summer and will leak air from top to bottom in winter. Lu Chongzheng firmly disagreed with starching. His wife had never seen it before, and she probably thought it looked good after starching, but it was actually uncomfortable to cover. Life was hard before, and his family was not so poor that they could not afford to replace the quilt when it was damaged. In the end, the quilt was not starched, and some sugar was added to the paste, which Li Wei took back to feed the children. Time flies, and it is June. The main farm work in June is to apply tillering fertilizer to rice, irrigate with shallow water, and dry the fields at appropriate times. There are also deep plowing and top dressing, as well as weeding for dryland crops such as wheat, corn, and soybeans. And then there is insect catching and weeding. This is the off-season for farmers. Moreover, it gets dark late at this time, and more people go up the mountain after work. Most of the time, they go to pick wild vegetables, such as Artemisia selingensis sprouts and Areobotrya japonica sprouts, which are regular guests on the dinner table in May and June. A small number of people went there to try their luck, hoping to pick up rocks with gold particles. Since the news of the gold mine was announced, people have been going up the mountain to look for it, and some have actually found it and sold it for a lot of money. Gung Chongqing was born in June. On his birthday, he received a call from Su Tingda. The two brothers first exchanged information in secret language, and then Su Tingda changed the subject. Chongqing, you are already 31 years old. It's time to consider your personal problems. This younger brother is good in every way except that he doesn't want to get married. He even suspects that he has been hurt in love before. Since he was 25, but there has been no result. Was in high city before, he could still use his connections to make introductions, but in the north, he had no connections there and was of no use at all. Gung Chongqing's scalp tightened. It was that time of year when people were urged to get married. Brother, things haven't been resolved yet, so I won't consider personal issues for now. This doesn't conflict with your family. You're not young anymore, really. If you find a suitable partner, you should consider it. They're just too far away, otherwise Fu Manhua Hospital would have a few good ones. Gung Chongqing was sweating coldly. He had finally dealt with Su Tingda and had just hung up the phone when his old leader called again. As Su Tingda's, and he also came to urge him to get married. Moreover, the old leader not only urged him to get married, but also asked someone to select a candidate and ordered him to go and see the candidate in 2 days. Gung Chongqing hung up the phone. He couldn't help but smile bitterly. He really had no intention of starting a family, but he didn't want to refuse his old leader's kindness. I hope the other party is a sober and good comrade, and I can explain it to him clearly when the time comes. I was really scared when I was in Haishur before. At that time, Su Tingda asked someone to introduce him to several people. With one of them, he had clearly told the other person that he was not considering personal issues for the time being and had no plans to get married, but the other party still pestered him for a long time and would meet him by chance from time to time, which really annoyed him. Fortunately, he was transferred here later. Otherwise, I don't know how long I would have been harassed. After Su Tingda hung up the phone, he thought about it and called the Lujia village brigade again to see if Su Mo was there. It was Lu Qing'an who answered the phone. Knowing that Su Mo was in the brigade today, he chatted with her for a while and then asked Su Tingda to call back in 20 minutes. Then, he quickly broadcast that Su Mo should come to the brigade to answer the phone. It was not until Su Mo answered the phone that she found out that today was Gung Chongqing's birthday. When she heard Su Tingda asking her to see if there was any suitable candidate and introduce him to Gung Chongqing, Su Mo was relieved. There really aren't any resources around her. She was not familiar with the other people in the educated youth site and had no idea of their personalities. The only person she was a little familiar with was Ma Xiaowan, but Ma Xiaowan was the same age as her and quite an age difference from Gung Chongqing. This time was different from the later generations, where a difference of a dozen years or so was nothing. But at this time, if the age difference was more than 5 years, many people would think that the age difference was quite big. Not to mention the commune. Among those people, only Song Guanghui is unmarried. Gung Chongqing is probably more familiar with this man than she is. If they could get along, they would have done it long ago. Just as Su Mo was thinking about what to say, Fu Manhua's voice came from the other end of the phone. Xiao Mo, don't worry about this. How can a younger generation introduce a date to an elder? Your uncle is really desperate and is trying all kinds of methods. Fu Manhua rolled her eyes at Su Tingda as she spoke, not even looking at where the person was. What good resources could Xiaomo have around her? Don't introduce someone like the one in Haishur, who keeps pestering people and disturbing them. Then Fu Manhua changed the subject and asked, Xiaomo, twins are usually born early, so you should keep an eye out for them by the middle of next month at the latest. Sumo's due date is early August, but twins are rarely born full term, and many are born half a month or a month early. Your second brother will go there at the beginning of next month. He will be there then. Don't be afraid. Aunt, the journey takes too long. Tell my second brother not to come. It took 20 days to go back and forth, which was too much trouble. It's okay, he was lucky and bought the plane ticket. Fu Manhua said. from Guangzhou to Beijing, and then you could take a train from Beijing, which can save at least half of the travel time. The price is a bit higher, his family can still afford it. The price of a flight ticket from Beijing to Guangzhou in 1978 was 81 yuan. How can there be no one at the mother's home when giving birth? She has seen a lot of couples in the hospital. Many of them look very loving at ordinary times, but choose to save the child at critical moments. Xiaoma has a small frame and her first child is twins, so it is probably not easy to give birth, so it is better to have someone present. She originally wanted to go by herself, but she couldn't get time off. The second child seems unreliable at ordinary times. He is still helpful at critical moments. Fu Manhua gave Su Mo a few more instructions and then hung up the phone. Then he said to Su Tingda, "Do and bother introducing Chongqing. I talked to him last time I went there. He should have someone in his heart." As the eldest sister-in-law, she naturally cared about Geng Chongqing's marriage, but after talking with him last time, she felt that there was no need to force him. A person who has someone in his heart will probably not be happy even if he finally forces himself to marry someone else. It is better to let him be free. Su Tingda was shocked. Who is it? Chongqing is handsome and elegant and very capable. When he was in school, many female classmates admired him. How should I know? Maybe he is a classmate of his. Actually, she had some guesses in her mind, but she just couldn't say it out loud. Su Tingda slapped his thigh. Why don't you pursue her? This boy, gay men should take the initiative. My classmates said that, at this age, he must have children. What a pity. After Su Mo hung up the phone, she thought for a moment and called the army to ask Lu Chongqing to come back tonight. She also called Geng Chongqing and asked him to come over for dinner tonight. She thought that Uncle Geng had worked hard for her family, and today was his birthday, so she had to celebrate it for him. After paying the phone bill, Su Mo hurried home to get busy. Local calls are still very cheap, only 4 cents a call. Su Mo originally wanted to make a cake, but it seemed that people at this time usually eat longevity noodles on their birthdays, so she thought she would just wait until the person arrived and then make a bowl of noodles. I took out a large piece of wild boar meat, chopped it up and made a large pot of mushroom meat sauce, which I filled with 4 cans of yellow peaches. This will be a birthday gift for Uncle Geng. She had discovered before that Geng Chongqing seemed to like eating chestnuts very much, so she took out a lot of chestnuts from the space, cooked and crushed them, added milk powder and sugar and some water, and mashed them into a paste. Then put it in the pan, add some oil, stir-fry over low heat until it doesn't stick to the spatula and can be kneaded into a ball. Then divide it into small and use mooncake molds to press out flower shapes. The beautiful and delicious chestnut cakes are ready. After the chestnut cakes had cooled, Su Mo took another box and put one in it. Good things come in pairs, so she gave them to Uncle Geng as a birthday present. For the meat, Su Mo braised a lot yesterday, so she just needed to cut a plate of it tonight. Then she went to the brigade and bought an old hen that didn't lay eggs very often and killed it to make a stew with mushroom vermicelli. In the evening, Lu Chongqing came back and felt a little jealous when he saw that Su Mo had prepared so many things. "Wife, please make this chestnut cake for me on my birthday. This chestnut cake looks so good and tastes so good. You can tell at a glance that a lot of thought went into making it." "Okay, when is your birthday?" Su Mo asked. There were no ID cards in that era, so she really didn't know when Lu Chongqing was born. "October 1st. Lu Chongqing said. Su Mo glanced at Lu Chongqing with a half-smile. Isn't this the day they are having their wedding? No wonder Lu Chongqing wanted to have the wedding on that day and said something about the festive national day. It turns out he has his own little thoughts. "Okay, then I'll make you not only chestnut cake but also cake." Lu Chongqing felt relieved. As long as he was important to his wife, that was enough. After a while, Geng Chongqing came. Su Mo quickly put in a whole stick of longevity noodles and fried 2 golden eggs. A whole bowl of longevity noodles. Geng Chongqing felt warm in his heart. Since it was a birthday, it would naturally be lively with many people, so the 3 elders of the Lu family were also invited to come and eat together. Geng Chongqing was happy and drank a lot of wine. Since coming here, he has been living alone. At most, Fu Ming would accompany him for a meal occasionally. This year is different, as I have my family around me. Geng Chongqing also slept here that night. The next morning, after breakfast, he happily went to work with mushroom meat sauce and chestnut cake. When there are many people, there are naturally many conflicts. Educated youths in the educated youth site, 9 males and 7 females. The female educated youth. There were 3 people in one room and 4 people in one room. Women were relatively petite, so they could still live comfortably. There were more conflicts in the dormitory, where 5 male educated youth lived. It's nothing more than the hard work of farming. Some people have poor hygiene habits, making the whole house stink, and then there are differences in living habits and so on. The youth workers' settlement warm. The windows were originally very small, and the ventilation was not very good, so conflicts arose. When they heard Lu Baoguo say that another group of educated youth would arrive next month, they all felt that it was no longer possible to live there. So Ma Jianmin brought several representatives, including the grandson of the senior official, to negotiate with the brigade to see if they could build 2 more dormitories. When Lu Baoguo and Lu Qingyan heard that another batch of educated youth would arrive next month, they were also very worried. These educated youth were really not very good at work. They had to train for a year or 2 before they could become proficient. Even if they became proficient, they could not earn many work points, just enough to make a living. Only a few of them could earn more than the average work points of the brigade. But now that they have arrived at the brigade, we cannot just watch them starve to death. We must distribute rations to them, which is equivalent to the brigade supporting them. What should we do if so many educated youth are sent here every year? Lu Baoguo was in charge of agricultural production, and he knew best how the educated youth worked. Lu Qingyan was also worried. Judging from the situation, there would probably be quite a few educated youth assigned here in recent years. By then, with dozens of people living together, there will definitely be many conflicts, and it will be inconvenient to manage. To people when they come here, their team will be held responsible. The 2 were still discussing how to make arrangements when they saw Ma Jianmin bringing a few educated youth over. When Ma Jianmin told him his needs, Lu Baoguo frowned and said, "Ma Jiqing, our brigade's Jiqing Center is one of the best in the entire commune. Not only is it newly built, it's also very spacious. Each room was originally built to accommodate 6 people. How come it's not enough? There are families in our brigade with 7 or 8 people, but the comm they sleep on is not as wide as the one in the educated youth camp. We are all revolutionary comrades, living in the same educated youth camp. That is fate. We should help each other more, care for each other, and be less individualistic. Captain, we can live here now. When a new batch of educated youth arrives, we can still squeeze in. But when the next batch comes, there will be no place to live. It's impossible for everyone to sleep close to each other," Ma Jianmin said. Lu Baoguo took a puff of his cigarette and said, "If we can't sleep anymore, we'll find another way. This house can't be expanded anymore. When we built this new dormitory, our village cadres were under great pressure. If we expand it anymore, the members won't approve it. The brigade had limited funds, and building 2 large dormitories would cost at least 100 yuan. This money was enough to support the lonely elderly in the village for several winters. Captain, what if we build it with our own money?" someone asked. They also inquired, and found out that some educated youth in other brigades had built small houses for themselves with their own money. Lu Baoguo and Lu Qingyan looked at each other. They had just discussed that if there were too many people, they could encourage the educated youth to build their own houses. Lu Baoguo pretended to be confused. It's not impossible, but it can only be built next to the educated youth site for easier management. How much does it cost to build a house? It depends on how big your house is. If it's just a single room, the adobe house will cost about 40 yuan. But we have to make it clear that the housing land of this house still belongs to the brigade. When you are still in the brigade, the house is yours, but when you leave, the house belongs to the brigade," Lu Baoguo said. "Other teams operate in the same way." "Okay, no problem. Let's go back and discuss it, and then report to you, Captain, tomorrow." Ma Jianming and his men came and left quickly. They had discussed this at the Educated Youth Center and thought it was probably impossible to ask the brigade to allocate more funds to build dormitories. Their original intention was to build a room for themselves or one or two close friends so that they would have a private space and would not have to squeeze with others. They were also worried that if they proposed to build it separately at the beginning, the team would not agree, so they took a detour. Now that the goal has been achieved, they will go back and discuss it. They also measured the land next to the youth education center. They could only build 6 single rooms of 20 square meters at most. If they could build them together and connect them in a row, the cost would probably be reduced. When they went back and told the story, Ma Xiaowan immediately expressed her opinion that she wanted to build a room. The senior official's grandson also wanted to build a room, and Ma Jianmin and another old educated youth would build a room together, and all 3 of them went out at once. Jiang Yu also wanted to build one, but she was unsure, so she secretly asked Ma Xiaowan, "Sister Xiaowan, do you think I should build one too? If you have money, build it. I guess there will be more and more people coming in the future. Don't let there be no space when you want to build again." After a while, another male educated youth asked for a room, and now there were 2 rooms left. Jiang Yu was a little anxious and quickly asked for one. Just a little embarrassing that when she came, she was afraid that her money would be stolen on the train, so she only brought 30 yuan. She had spent a lot of money on buying things before, and now she only had a dozen yuan left. Her mother sent her hasn't arrived yet. It will probably take 2 days, and she doesn't know if she has to pay it right away. After thinking about it, Jiang Yu decided to borrow money from Su Mo later and return it to her immediately after receiving the money. In the evening, Jiang Yu went to Su Mo's house to find her. Jiang Yu knew roughly where Su Mo lived. It was her first time there. After entering the house, Jiang Yu exclaimed, "Sister Su Mo, your house is so nice. It's not worse than those in the city." Of course, it couldn't be compared with the villa she lived in before. This person with good fortune will be lucky wherever he goes. No wonder her mother often said that people must accumulate good deeds in order to be blessed. Must have done a lot of good deeds, so his descendants will be able to escape danger even if they encounter great difficulties. Su Mo smiled and handed Jiang Yu a glass of sugar water. "This is what my husband built before we got married."
What do you want to talk to me about today?
"Sister Su Mo, I want to borrow some money from you." Jiang Yu told her about building a house. "I will pay you back as soon as my mother sends me the money." Su Mo was a little worried that Jiang Yu would tell others about her affairs, but it has been more than a month and no news has come out. It seems that she is a tight-lipped person. "Okay, how much do you want to borrow?" Su Mo asked, hoping that this girl was a good one. "Just lend me 30. They said it might be around 40. I still have 10 or so." Su Mo went into the room and took out 30 yuan for Jiang Yu. Jiang Yu thanked her gratefully, and before leaving, she said to Su Mo, "Sister Su Mo, do you have any grudges with that educated youth Chinlon? She always asks me about your family. But don't worry, I didn't tell her anything that shouldn't be said." "Okay, I understand. Thank you for keeping it a secret for me,"
Su Mo said.
I really didn't expect Chinlon to be so interested in her. The educated youth were very efficient, and the next day they went to Lu Baogua to report on the construction of 6 single rooms. 5 rooms after counting, but considering that the cost would be lower if they were built together, the people who wanted to build the houses discussed it and decided to build 6 rooms together. As for the extra room, they would wait until the new educated youth arrived next month to see if anyone wanted to sell it. Lu Baogua was also surprised. He didn't expect that these educated youth were so rich that so many of them wanted to build their own houses. This was a big order, so Lu Baogua immediately summoned the members of the brigade's construction team to measure the land next to the educated youth site. After communicating with the educated youth, 6 rooms were built in a row, each with an area of about 10 square meters. They were divided into 2 sections. The back section with a kong was used as a bedroom, and the front section was used as a kitchen, and each had a small stove. All in all, the cost of materials and labor for a house is 33 yuan. The educated youth paid the money. They started construction the next day during the slack season. During the slack season, the construction team would make some adobe bricks and beams for backup, so the materials were readily available. Materials and sufficient manpower. The house can be built in as little as 20 days or as much as 1 month. The educated youth who built the houses were very happy to be able to live in the new houses before the new educated youth arrived. From now on, they will have their own private space, and they won't have to sneak around like thieves when eating something delicious. A week later, Jiang Yu received a remittance of 50 yuan from her mother. She took half a day off that day, went to the commune to withdraw the money, and then returned the money to Su Imo. Chen saw Jiang Yu on her way home from work and walked up to her and asked with a smile, "Jiang Jiqing, you're back from getting the money? Are you going to pay Su Jiqing back? I'll go with you." Jiang Yu was telling Ma Xiaowan about borrowing money from Su Imo. Chen accidentally heard it. At that time, Chen decided to go with Jiang Yu to pay back the money. Chen had always wanted to get in touch with Su Imo and had always urged Ma Xiaowan to go and play with Su Imo, but Ma Xiaowan didn't listen to her. Later, maybe because she said too much, Ma Xiaowan not only stopped going to play with Su Imo, but also became distant from her. But she didn't dare to go alone. Now that someone who knew Su Imo had come, she naturally had to establish a good relationship with her and then use her to get closer to Su Imo. Jiang Yu didn't know what Chen was going to do to Su Imo, so she naturally wouldn't let her get close to her. Sister Su Mo is working in the commune today. I've already paid back the money. Chen was a little disappointed and said, "Well, next time you go to see Su Imo, ask me to come with you. I haven't talked to her for a long time. We went to the countryside together and lived in the same room before." Jiang Yu nodded. "Okay, I'll call you if I need to go. But Sister Su Imo is about to give birth, so she may not be able to make time." Jiang Yu was very annoyed with Chen. Although they both had the character Lan in their names, there was a huge difference between Chen and her sister. Her sister knew that Su Imo was here, and she wrote to her, reminding her not to disclose Su Mo's family affairs. Although her parents had cut off ties with Su Imo in the newspaper, there were still many people who could not tell right from wrong. Her mother also told her that their family had received kindness from the Su family, and even if they could not repay the favor, they could not be like the Yang family and be ungrateful. Jiang Yu has a simple personality. When someone asked her about Su Imo before, she would reveal a little bit. But ever since she was reminded, she has kept her mouth shut. Especially people like Chen, who asked her from time to time and obviously wanted to get close to Su Imo, were treated as suspicious elements and were on guard against by her. By the end of June, Su Imo felt that her body had become much heavier and the baby's movements were becoming more frequent. She instinctively knew that the birth was imminent. This was her first time experiencing childbirth, and to be honest, she was still a little nervous. Su Imo took a wild ginseng, cut it into a few slices, wrapped it in a cloth, and prepared to carry it with her when she went to the hospital. If she felt exhausted, she would hold a slice in her mouth. Her power was upgraded to the second level. She transferred all her power once, which was equivalent to the growth energy of the plant for 2 years. In the past 4 months, she raised 1 wild ginseng every month and basically harvested it when it was about 50 years old. So far, she has accumulated 4 wild ginsengs. 100-year-old wild ginseng is too rare. If there are too many of them, it will easily arouse suspicion. Those that are 40 or 50 years old are much easier to sell. But she is not planning to sell them now, so she is saving them for the future after the reform and opening up. People at this time are reluctant to spend their money because they cannot afford the price. Afterwards, Su Imo packed up the small clothes, quilts, and diapers she had prepared for the child. She put in everything the baby and she needed and made a delivery bag. If you still need something, just go to the department store and buy it. The medical conditions at the city hospital were better, so she and Lu Changzheng unanimously decided to give birth at the city hospital. After that, Su Imo went to the brigade headquarters to call Lu Changzheng and asked him to come back and take her to the hospital. Lu Changzheng was busy at the time, and the call was answered by his clerk. After the clerk found him and reported the matter to him, Lu Changzheng was so scared that he almost passed out. It's still such a long time before the due date. How come she's suddenly going to give birth? Maybe something has happened. Lu Changzheng was so anxious that he took the car keys and rushed out. Seeing him like this, the political commissar didn't dare to let him drive by himself and quickly called 2 orderlies to follow him. Lu Chongjing drove all the way back home, and as soon as he parked the car, he rushed home immediately. The two orderly soldiers who followed also rushed out of the car and ran to the side of the road too. This car speeding technique was amazing, and they couldn't bear it. Lu Chongjing rushed into the house in a hurry and saw his wife sitting on a stool eating leisurely. He finally felt relieved. "What's wrong? Why are you so anxious?"
Su Mo asked.
Lu Chongjing was also convinced. "The clerk said you were about to give birth. I was so scared." That boy didn't even ask about the matter clearly, which scared him. "I told him that I might be giving birth in the next few days and asked you to come back and take me to the hospital." I guess the call quality was not good, so he misheard. The telephone line at that time was like a black iron wire, and the call quality was quite poor. "You will accompany me to the commune to ask for leave later. I will call my aunt. My second brother will be coming over in the next 2 days." Lu Chongjing nodded, went out, and asked two orderlies to wait for passing cars at the intersection to return to the camp, and then drove Su Mo to the commune. Although most holidays have been cancelled at this time, maternity leave is still available for a total of 40 days. Su Mo first went to the commune to complete the maternity leave procedures with Li Yunwang, and then went to the post office to call Guangxi province. It was already evening, so someone should be home. Sure enough, it was Fu Manhua who answered the call. Heard Su Mo say that she felt she was about to give birth, she was a little worried. After all, it was quite early. However, she still calmly reminded Su Mo of various precautions. On the other side, Su Yuan had just packed his bags and was preparing to take the train to Yangqing tonight and fly to Beijing tomorrow. Suddenly, he heard Su Mo say that she was about to give birth. He was so anxious that he wanted to grab the phone to talk to her, but his mother wouldn't let him. He could only shout at the top of his voice, "Little sister, brother will be here soon. Wait for me and give birth slowly." Fu Manhua was so angry that she slapped him and cursed. "What nonsense are you talking about? Can you wait to have a baby? Xiao Mo, don't worry about your second brother. Don't be nervous. Relax your mind. The baby will be born naturally when it's time." Hearing Su Yuan's words, Su Mo also smiled secretly. "I know, Aunt. When the second brother arrives, I should be in the hospital. You can ask him to come directly to the city hospital." "Okay." Fu Manhua agreed, gave a few more instructions, and then hung up the phone. After hanging up the phone, she started scolding Su Yuan again. She now felt that it was probably a mistake to send this unreliable person over. That night, Su Yuan boarded the train carrying 2 large bags of things prepared for the children. "After arriving in Guangzhou, I rushed to the airport without stopping. I only breathed a sigh of relief when I boarded the plane. I hope my little sister can give birth slowly, otherwise she won't have her family around when she gives birth. What if something happens? Although my eldest brother said that the man surnamed Lu is good, can he be better than him as his brother? Man proposes, God disposes. He has already arrived a few days earlier than originally planned. Is it still too late?" The next day, Lu Chongjing sent Su Mo and Li Wei to the municipal hospital together. Su Mo is a civil servant now, so medical treatment is free. She only needs to pay a registration fee of 10 cents. After paying the other expenses, she can get reimbursement from the commune by presenting the receipts. She first wore it. She spent more than $10 just for a fever. No wonder people in this era want to have a job. Just the fact that they can see a doctor for free is attractive enough. Some large factories in high city have their own hospitals, so they don't even have to pay for it. Seeing that Su Mo was still so far from her due date, the doctor originally did not plan to admit her to the hospital. However, seeing how big her belly was and that she was carrying twins, he reluctantly admitted her. But they also said that if the baby is not born within 2 days, she will be discharged from the hospital and sent back when there is movement, so as not to waste national resources. Su Mo stayed in the hospital in a triple room with 2 pregnant women about to give birth. At that time, you couldn't live in a single room just because you had money. Only high-ranking cadres could enjoy a single room. Lu Chongjing came back in a hurry yesterday because there were still some things in the army that had not been arranged. He had to go back again today to arrange everything before he could come to the hospital to concentrate on accompanying his wife. Settling the people down, Lu Chongjing hurried back to the army to finish his work as soon as possible and come here earlier. The two women originally in labor in the ward were both close to their due dates. One of them was already crying in pain and would give birth soon. After Su Mo and the others settled down, the aunt in the bed next to her asked Li Yue, "Sister, was that officer your son?" "Yes, big sister."
Li Yue replied.
"Oh, we are so blessed that our son and daughter-in-law are so good-looking and promising." The aunt praised. "Your daughter-in-law's belly is really big. It must be a big fat boy." Li Yue smiled and said, "As for twins, it doesn't matter if they are boys or not, as long as they are healthy. I personally prefer girls, like my daughter-in-law, who will be loved by everyone." The aunt clapped her hands and came over to watch curiously. "Oh, twins. That's very rare. Is this your first child too?" "Yes, the first child." "How about yours, elder sister?" "It's also my first child. I'm worried about my daughter, so I have to come and look after her myself." The aunt said, "I gave birth to 3 sons to get this one daughter. I must treasure her." Li Yue smiled even more. "What a coincidence. I also have 3 sons and 1 daughter. Oh, my sister, this is really a fate for us." The aunt held Li Yue's hand and her smile became much more genuine. The two women started chatting about this. "To be honest, sister, my son-in-law is also a soldier. His family members cannot accompany him if his rank is not high enough, so he can only leave his wife at home. Marrying a soldier is an honor, but it's also hard. That girl is stubborn. Fortunately, our 2 families live close, so I can take care of her from time to time." "What's your son's rank? Can his family accompany him in the army?" "My 3rd son is now the head of a regiment, and he can follow the army. But now he has been transferred here, so he can come back home from time to time." The aunt gave a thumbs up and said, "Sister, your son is really this kind of person. He is so young, and he has become the leader of a group. It's also his luck that he married a good wife." Li Yue said with a smile, "Sister, it's rare to find a mother-in-law who loves her daughter-in-law as much as you do nowadays." The aunt said, "They are both mothers of military officers, so why are her in-laws so annoying? My wife is good and deserves my love. There are other annoying people at home." The two women chatted about family matters again, and Su Mo and the aunt's daughter sat on the hospital bed and listened with great interest. Suddenly, my aunt's daughter screamed and quickly got out of bed. "Mom, please get me a pair of pants quickly. I have peed again." As he said this, he walked out, ready to change his pants. With her for the past 2 months, but she would leak whenever she sneezed or moved a little bit. As a young woman, she had to wet her pants like a child, which was really embarrassing. The aunt saw that her daughter's pants were wet in a large area and that they were about to get wet further, so she quickly grabbed her and said, "Oh, your water has broken. Go back to bed and lie down. I'll go call a doctor. But I don't have any stomachache. Someone's water broke first. Girl, lie down quickly." Li Yue also went to help and helped the pregnant woman lie down. The aunt quickly went to find a nurse. After the examination, the nurse said that her water had broken and asked her to call her when she had stomach pain. The aunt was in no mood to chat. She was so worried about her daughter. In less than half an hour, the pregnant woman's stomach began to hurt, and soon she started crying and screaming. The aunt quickly called a nurse, who took one look and said the baby was about to be born, so she quickly pushed the baby to the delivery room. It took less than 2 hours. This is a blessed child. He gave birth quickly, so his mother didn't have to suffer for too long. He came to repay his parents. Li Yue said to Su Mo. After that, he said to Su Mo's belly, "You too? Be good, and don't let your mother suffer too much." Li Yue finished speaking. Su Mo's belly was kicked, as if in response to their grandmother's words. "Oh my," Li Yue was overjoyed. "It must be a smart baby. It can understand what I say even when it's still in the belly." At this time, the pregnant woman who had been crying out in pain when they first came started to cry out in pain again. However, they had been here for half the morning, and no family member of the pregnant woman had come to accompany her. Li Yue couldn't bear to see this, so she went over and asked, "My girl, where are your family members?" What's your condition now? Do you want me to call a doctor for you? We are all women who have given birth to children, and we all understand this pain. My husband will be here soon. Aunt, please call a doctor for me. I think I will be ready soon. The pregnant woman paused for a while before speaking to Li Yue. Li Yue hurried out to call the nurse. The nurse came over and checked and said that it was only 3 fingers dilated and asked her to wait a little longer. The pregnant woman almost collapsed, but I've been in pain for a whole day. Why is it still not working? Will the baby be okay? The nurse comforted me. Don't worry. This is normal. Everyone's situation is different. Some people develop faster and some develop slower. You have already dilated 3 fingers, which is pretty fast. Just bear with it. Where are your family members? Ask them to get you some food to replenish your energy, otherwise you won't have the strength to give birth. Okay, thank you, doctor. The pregnant woman replied weakly. After the nurse left, Li Yue also said a few words of comfort. My daughter, don't be too nervous. This is your first birth, and some people take a long time. When I gave birth to my first child, I was in pain for 2 days before I gave birth.
This is also a miserable life.
Giving birth to a child is like going through the gates of, and there is not even anyone to accompany you. When Li Yue and Su Imo came back from the hospital cafeteria after getting their lunch, they saw a man running towards them in a hurry, sweating profusely, holding a lunchbox and an enamel pot. Wife, how are you? Are you still in pain? The pregnant woman was no longer in pain at this time. She leaned back on the hospital bed, looking a little listless. Wife, are you hungry? I made some chicken soup for you. Please drink some. The man said as he opened the enamel pot and took out a spoon to scoop up the chicken soup and feed it to his wife. As the pregnant woman drank, she suddenly started to cry and